With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, but here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm an elder law attorney.
1 minute.
Our
All right.
greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hello, this is Mary from Berlin. Our family chose Alair Elder Law to help us in getting our mom into the right nursing home that worked best for her and our family. Although her parents had a will, power of attorney, and healthcare representative forms, they were old and out of date. Alair was able to handle the new documents along with generating a testamentary trust that fit best for our parents' current situation. Once
Michael
that
B.
was
in the
completed,
house.
Alair told me as the power of attorney what I needed to do to save as many assets as I could. Our family continues to use Alair's elder care services to promote mom's health, safety, and well-being. Alair's care coordinator continues to take part in mom's care plan meetings, and she continues to advocate for mom's right to quality care. Without Alair Elder Law, we certainly
In town.
save the assets we did, nor be in the position we are in today.
Find out more at alairelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio, Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! And happy Friday to you and yours. I am hyped and ready to go. Are you ready to go? I'm ready to go. Let's get it popping. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, filling in for Todd Feinberg. Don't forget, folks, you know what today is. It is time for
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
If you want to air a grievance, get on the phone, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842 for the airing of grievances. I don't really have a grievance today. I've got a concern. Today. Can someone, just anyone, explain to me who arranged the 4 a.m. hostage video of the Obamas endorsing Kamala Harris? Can anybody explain that to me at all? Now, for those of you who've seen it, right? Because everyone's going like, well, they endorsed them. Okay. Listen, if you want to write, I tell you guys about my family chat, right? My family chat is with a bunch of liberals. They all are. From the kids, with the exception of the boy. The boy's a little more conservative, if not independent. But there's at least 4 liberals on this chat in my family. And I get after them every time. I'll admit, they even get a little angry at me. Primarily because I can back up the crap I'm talking. Right? I can back it up. So, and they're very, very invested. It's emotional. It's always, for some reason, I just got into an argument with a good friend. A woman that I just got to meet 2 years ago. We had a tennis match, Battle of the Sexes. We took a picture together, and she was cursing me out on Facebook this morning only because the Obamas endorsed Kamala Harris. And I said, you guys fell for that? Like, that's the endorsement. Like, you get the worst kind of, the measliest endorsement from the former president of the United States, the former first lady of the United States, the first black president and first lady of the United States, who in essence are ushering in possibly the first woman president of the United States, who will happen to be a person of color, regardless of the argument about her being black. We'll get to that in a minute. But you got the significance, folks, let's be honest, the significance of this and what the Obamas did for Hillary Clinton when Barack Obama endorsed her, handpicked her in 2015, pretty much. You have to admit that this was a measly endorsement. Where were they? On the phone? And if you watch this video, please go watch the video again. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. Go watch the video. Kamala Harris is obviously coming from some event, or she's walked in. Why does she have on a lapel microphone during this phone call? Whatever event that she was, she usually gets unmiked when she's on her way home. When she's on it, because it looks like she's leaving an event. Why does she still have the lapel microphone on? Did no one think they were going to realize that this was staged? This is the reason why her campaign failed in 2020, because of mismanagement. And folks, I went back and I watched the video. I watched the videos, all the videos of how well Kamala Harris was doing or how much praise she was getting from the media back in 2020. And kid you not, she was. She was overwhelmingly popular. They thought that Donald Trump really had it. She was on the top 5 list out of what, 17 people? She was on the top 5 list. And then she went after Joe Biden when she said that he was against busing. That really took her to the stratosphere. They were like, yeah, Kamala Harris is a force to be reckoned with. Even Donald Trump said, oh, okay. We may have someone formidable here. And then all of a sudden, she couldn't get out of Iowa. She had to park her behind and her campaign in Iowa. She couldn't leave because the polling data was 0. No one had interest in her. And she was out like a light, like that. Out, gone, over. No enthusiasm. Who ended up being the candidate, okay? We're talking about a candidate that they wanted, black woman. That's what they're describing her as. And in fact, they were very critical of, and this was 2019, by the way, for those of you who are looking for a timeline. This was 2019 they were talking about Kamala Harris. And how great. And when she was out, the New York Times wrote the article that said that her campaign was abysmal, was in disarray. People were saying that the New York Times was racist because of her. I mean, because of this reporting. But many people pushed back and just said, no, this was mismanagement. She can't manage a team. What did we learn when she became vice president? It was the same deal. The place was hemorrhaging people on the Kamala Harris team when she was vice president. Hemorrhaging people. So the Obamas have an opportunity to make history. They call it history in this fake bull phone call. They did it under the cover of darkness. No grandstanding. Not even a stage appearance like Kamala Harris doing an event and the Obamas would come out of nowhere. The crowd goes nuts. Obama! Michelle! They do it with a phone call. And people are telling me like I'm supposed to be impressed by this. See, Reese, they did endorse them. They did endorse her. Now it doesn't matter how they did. Anybody remember when Joe Biden called into the Kamala Harris campaign and everybody said it was AI? Remember that? That was just a couple of days ago. And then the Obamas released this.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
Oh, you're both together. Kamala, they're married. Well, is there a likelihood that they wouldn't be? Okay, I won't get into that. I won't start anything. I'm sorry. On with the video. I'll start it over. I'm sorry. That was wrong. I got distracted.
Hello. Hi. Hey there. Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
What is she exactly proud of? Of her winning the nomination through voters in a primary? What exactly is Michelle Obama proud of her? That she got the position by default? Is that what we're celebrating now? I'm so proud of you, Kamala. We forced Joe Biden out and you became the natural selection. Proud of you, girl. You just happened to be there. I'm proud of you for being there.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
If we can, as long as it's not on a Thursday, Wednesday, or any day of the month that ends with the number 2 and 4. And not when I'm watching golf or the playoffs.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
That's it. That was it.
My wife, who's a diehard Democrat, born and bred, does not like Kamala.
Really? Wow. We'll get into that in a minute, too. I've got some great audio there for that. So, again, where are the Obamas? I'm not falling for this. I can't fall for this. This is cheap. The Obamas are better than this. Their name and their endorsement, that rings bells. And remember, this is the most important part. This isn't about Kamala. This is barely about the Obamas. Hear me out, folks. The campaign is going to be about Kamala Harris being the first black woman to possibly be the president of the United States. Identity politics is it's the golden goose of Democrat politics. It is who they are. When they talk to voters, they never talk about policy. They always talk about 3 things: gender, color, and age. That's it. Maybe sexual orientation. That will be next. But now that's all it's about. She's young, she's black, she's a woman. That's it. That's the most important thing. The Obamas, being the first African Americans in the White House, know the significance of pushing Kamala Harris over the finish line, having never won a primary, having never been primaried. And when she was out in 2020. Today, she is literally being handed the endorsement without having to do any work. And you don't show up at a live event, your endorsement that you, by the way, held out for days to give. You held out for days. You pass off an endorsement with this silly little phone call? And everything is a wrap. Black people, especially black people, because again, remember that this campaign, because it's still Biden's, what are they hemorrhaging more than anything? Black men and black people overall. Upwards of 30% of African Americans have no interest in this campaign, have no interest in the Democrat Party. They are losing them in droves. And the most important candidate ever in the history of politics, Barack Hussein Obama and Michelle Obama, gave a phone call. Now, folks, either they are just giving out the crumbs and they know these black people are going to eat them up, or they've got no respect for this campaign. I'm not falling for this. Who is? This is a joke. And I love watching these people posting. They endorse them. This is what you're willing. They must know you. Like they're mocking you. This is the biggest mock job ever. Michelle, let's go over here and make this phone call. Kamala. You don't get on camera? Not even a Twitter video? A Facebook video? Instagram? Nothing? Come on, man. I ain't falling for this. I'm not falling for this. 860-522-WTIC. Jim is in Wellington. Hello, Jim. You're on Reese on the Radio on the Top Feinberg Show.
Yeah, you don't even know where to start with Harris since Biden decided he wasn't running. I'll tell you what, this whole setup, it reminds me of the guy who company throws a big party for, and they laud him, and they give him a big award, but in the end, everybody in the room knows it's just platitude to push him out.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Biden. I'm talking about Harris. I still have in the back of my mind this idea that Harris, she's got the delegates supposedly all wrapped up. Okay, great. But in the back of my mind, if she can't move the numbers between now and that convention, I still think something else is going to go on there.
That's Jim, you are 100% right, and I am going to talk about that because, you know, that whole debate nonsense that's going on where people are trying to report Donald Trump is scared to debate. He's got an inside track, and I think he's brilliant. He's already been, I got duped once. I will not get duped again. Shame on you. You know, you fool me once, shame on me. You know, shame me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He's not falling for the banana in the tailpipe the second time around. He knows this polling these polling numbers are fabricated. He knows this.
Yeah, and the other thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I understood that she was more of a protege of Obama back when she won the Senate from California.
Exactly. That's the whole point I'm making here, Jim. Is that, and I was totally going to get into that, but that's okay. You are not stealing my thunder here. Barack Obama handpicked her and literally carried her in his Messiah-like hands through the Senate as her, you know, as his endorsee. Right. Like he literally handheld her campaign. And this one, probably the biggest campaign ever, he makes a phone call. And no one's supposed to read the tea leaves on that.
And and listen, she's not the first one. This whole process from the left, they did the same thing with Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Same exact thing. She becomes senator, blah, 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 secretary of state, blah, blah, blah. And the last thing I'll say about Harris, and then I'll get off the air, is she's married to a Jewish man who has a daughter who's out there screaming in support of the Hamas and the Palestinians.
I know.
Against Israel.
And somebody, you know what, Jim, here's the part. Someone said the other day, it was like, how can anybody call Kamala Harris anti-Israel when she's married to a Jewish man? And you know what I said to them? I said, why don't you go onto the Jewish man's daughter's Instagram page and hear what she's touting and then talk to me about her husband being Jewish. And it's something I've been saying for a long time, but nobody wants to believe me. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. Let's go to, thank you, man. Let's go to White Mike is in Florida. White Mike. You said she's black-ish.
Hey,
you said she's black-ish. She's not African-American.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have the African-American experience. No, I mean, she's a half Indian, quarter Jamaican who was raised in Canada.
I want to, you know what? Not to steal your thunder, let's go into this. 2020, April Ryan, the journalist, I think who's worked for NPR and PBS, was on with Don Lemon. This is back in 2020. And they had this discussion.
Number one, she is a black woman. She's a mixed race woman. When you see her blackness, but she is also South Asian. Her mom is South Asian and her dad is Jamaican.
April, let me listen. Yes. More power to her. And I think it's great. That should be enough. Listen, it is enough that she's a black woman.
We are not a monolith.
No.
But they did the same thing.
No. I think you're not hearing what people are saying. The people who are saying is she black enough, that's bull. That's BS. But to want a distinction to say, is she African American, or is she black, or is she whatever? There is nothing wrong with that. There is a difference between being African American and being black. Latino people are people of color, but they're not black. They're brown people.
She is a woman of color, but she is a black woman.
Okay, that's fine. I agree with that. I agree with that. But is she African American? No.
And that's what Don Lemon's making the argument. This argument has been made over and over again. And back in 2020, the argument was made. She's not African American. She might be black. She might even be brown, but she's not African American. She has no experiences as an African American, in essence. And to be honest with you, neither did Barack Obama, but they didn't seem to care then. But they damn sure do care with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, dude, I have more African American experience than Kamala Harris does growing up in Louisiana. But anyway, look. So I think a while back you said that your thought was the Democrats were sacrificing Kamala Harris to get rid of her.
Right, to end her political career in the future.
Have some Mondale-like destruction and then have her slink off into the world of, teaching at Georgetown.
Right.
But I think they're in a pickle because what people aren't thinking about, again, is the same reason Democrats really wanted Hillary Clinton to win in 2016 is Supreme Court.
Okay.
So have two elderly Supreme Court justices on the court right now. We have Alito and Thomas.
Right.
They're both Thomas is 76 and Alito's 74.
Right.
At the end of 4 years, Thomas is 80, Alito's 76.
Mm-hmm. 30 seconds.
Right. So if Trump gets in, I fully expect Thomas to retire.
Yeah, that would be a smart move because it would be perfect for him to do that. Actually, you know what, Mike, stay on the line. This is actually a good train of thought because you believe, if I'm hearing you right, that Kamala Harris may be somebody that they need to push because of Alito and Thomas. And I want you to finish your thought in a second because we got to go to a break. So hold on. We'll go to the bottom of the hour, do the news, and then we'll come back with White Mike in Florida talking about why the Democrats may definitely need Kamala Harris to win because of the Supreme Court. When we return, it's Reese on the Radio filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10 people don't even like baseball. And that's America's pastime. It has an entire Hall of Fame that people visit just because they love baseball that much. Does that mean we should have a Hall of Fame? You can't frame legendary service. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 of our customers would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote today. Based on a 2023 customer survey, insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30 Hartford temperature, 84 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A recall of certain Boar's Head deli meats has prompted temporary closures at 2 supermarket deli departments. Delis at Big Y and Stop and Shop have temporarily closed so workers can get the meats in question out and clean the areas, all due to a listeria outbreak as a result of Boar's Head liverwurst and ham products. Some 200,000 pounds of meat has been pulled. There have been nearly 3 dozen cases of listeria reported nationwide, including 2 deaths. Man's under arrest in New Haven for allegedly beating his son. This happened Thursday outside a grocery store on Greenwich Avenue. 12-year-old sustained leg and head injuries, also swelling of the arms. Under arrest, 42-year-old Kareem Smalls, now charged with assault and risk of injury. Former President Trump has welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to his Florida estate. It's their first face-to-face meeting in nearly 4 years. The two men are seeking to mend an important political alliance that had broken down after Netanyahu congratulated Joe Biden on his 2020 victory over Trump. Meantime, Vice President Harris has picked up the endorsements of both former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama in her attempt to garner the Democratic nomination. Investigation continues into a serious crash today in Wethersfield. A motorcycle was involved in that crash, had Ridge Road and Folly Brook Boulevard shut for a time this morning. WTIC News Time, 3:32. Bob Larson's got the forecast.
Lower humidity has returned to the area, and this trend will continue right through the weekend. Sunshine, patchy cloud cover the rest of this afternoon, somewhat breezy. Definitely less humid than recent days, high 86. Clear, cooler, and more comfortable tonight with a low of 59. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Beautiful start to the weekend. Very warm tomorrow afternoon, but with low humidity, high 89. Clear, comfortable weather tomorrow night, low 60. Once again, 50s at outlying areas. For Sunday, sunshine mixing with some afternoon clouds. Still very warm, but still not too humid. Sunday's high temperature, 89. For Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 66 degrees. Monday, clouds and occasional sun. Breezy and not as warm. There could be a shower with a high temperature of 81. Maybe a shower or thunderstorm for the area on Tuesday. Mostly cloudy and more humid again. Tuesday's high 83. We expect similar weather across the area on Wednesday. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow up 637 points. NASDAQ's ahead 136, and the S&P is up 53. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm Brett Director from Connecticut Lighting Centers. Looking for a new ceiling fan? Connecticut Lighting Centers has you covered. Over 180 ceiling fans on display and hundreds in stock ready to go. Connecticut Lighting Centers with showrooms in Hartford and Southington or online at ctlighting.com featuring Hinckley.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080. Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
I'm Jan, Deb's sister. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
Okay, but I said it first.
It's more than food. It's my Big Y Rewards.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
I'm Brett Director from Connecticut Lighting Centers. Looking for a new ceiling fan? Connecticut Lighting Centers has you covered. Over 180 ceiling fans on display and hundreds in stock ready to go. From modern to classic, you'll find the perfect fan to complement any decor. Let our trained ceiling fan experts help you select the perfect fan for your home or business. Connecticut Lighting Centers with showrooms in Hartford and Southington or online at ctlighting.com featuring Hinckley.
Conquer your career with Career Connect. When it comes to your future, the sky's the limit. But it all starts with a first step. Get connected to training and job opportunities. Eligible applicants can get help with transportation, childcare, housing, and technology. With the right resources to succeed, You're unstoppable. Register today at ct.gov/careerconnect. This project is supported by federal award number SLFRP-0128, awarded to Connecticut by the U.S. Department of the Treasury.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Ben, though it really does go without
Long minute.
better medicine almost always means
Gotcha.
better outcomes for people.
Damn, I just got a great text.
Certainly want a good outcome. This is Dave,
My wife said I got a package at home from FedEx.
the leader in
It's
treating
bowling
men's
stuff.
sexual
What are
health
you talking
issues in the
about?
Northeast.
Huh?
It's
Terrible
bowling
condition.
stuff.
It causes
I know. It's my 300 ring.
hardships
Oh,
for the man
you got your
and often on their
300
partner
ring.
as well.
Okay.
Yet many men suffer for years.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there and open it up.
That you can be
goodness
free
gracious.
of ED. Seriously, if you're like most men, the treatments we offer at Northeast Men's Health will work for you. In fact, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means you can likely enjoy.
That's so dope because the last weekend of the tournament is tomorrow. I'm going to throw that 300 ring on to give me that extra power. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC, filling in for Todd Feinberg. The airing of grievances indeed on a Friday. Okay, we got White Mike in Florida from the Reese on the Radio rundown. And okay, so Mike has a theory, if you're just joining us, that based upon a prediction that I'm making is that they really don't want Kamala Harris to be the future of the Democrat Party. They've got their sights on 2028. And Kamala Harris, in essence, you ruin her political career by having her lose this election. And if she loses this election, and then, of course, thereafter, she goes to the sweet by and by, and you never have to deal with her running for anything, much less like dog catcher without being primary. White Mike, on the other hand, thinks that may be, let's just say, ill-advised because we've got Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito who are in their 70s, the mid to late 70s, and could very likely be gone in the next administration, and they could get 2 Democrat or liberal justices out of Kamala Harris winning. Was that pretty much your summation?
Well, it's not so much that I think they need Harris to win.
Okay.
I think I would not be surprised at all to see some kind of shenanigans at the convention because the ad campaign against her is going to be so brutal. And
right.
She is so off-putting to such a huge section of the population that I wouldn't be surprised to see them replace her with somebody. The Supreme Court justice, nobody thinks about being a problem as a short-term possibility of a shortened time is Sotomayor.
Right.
Sotomayor, no spring chicken.
Right.
She's 70 years old. She's obese. And she's a type 1 diabetic.
And she has openly been talking in many conferences and other speeches where she's been very much dismayed about the decisions that have been coming out of the court. Many people believe that this is a signal to many that she may decide to resign.
Well, I mean, she's one health emergency away from gone.
Yeah. Understood.
Now, do I think that Harris can legitimately win the election? No way, buddy. I mean, she doesn't have what Biden had. You know, Biden, for all his faults, and we all know the election was shady, it's plausible that people voted for him because he was seen as stable and staid compared to the volatile Trump.
And he still had, whether Obama supported him in 2016 or told him to, called it off for him in 2016, Obama still actively endorsed him and pushed for him in 2020. So that viability, he didn't get the numbers that Hillary Clinton got in the black vote, but he got a steady stream. He got 80% of the African American vote. That was important.
Harris has none of this, and she's apparently uncoachable.
I understand that.
I've never seen anybody who's worse on camera than Kamala Harris. And she repeats the same disturbing behaviors over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a report coming out today about her meeting with Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Where apparently she pressed him for a ceasefire in September, and he legitimately laughed at her.
And she wanted it in September. She was putting a timeline on it because she thought this would be beneficial to her.
Well, nobody's going to respect her. The Americans know you can't send this woman to talk to anybody of any import because she's basically an idiot. She's an immature, cackling, laughing, and women say, "Oh, you guys are just upset because she's a woman and the way she laughs."
Right.
No, it's not. It's not so much the way she laughs; it's the circumstances in which she laughs.
Mm-hmm. That's a legitimate case. It's a legitimate argument, and I think when you say that to people, they always veer off to another subject because they know that even they go, "God, I should stop doing that."
It's weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
I've known women like that who giggled when they were put under pressure, or they giggle to kind of assert femininity in a stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're leaning on them for something, like I've supervised people in my job,
mm-hmm.
and I've had to correct women about their behavior and their drama. And I've had them giggle in conference when I'm giving them a dressing down. It's not that they're laughing at me. It's that they're trying to manipulate you with their femininity so you'll quit being mean to them. And that's fine if you're a dental assistant, but it's not fine if you're the president.
Yeah.
The president needs to have strength and confidence and inspire people.
Yeah.
And she's inspired nobody.
I don't. I'm gonna play. Like I said, I'm about to play this video from this podcaster, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, you know what? You make a good point on the. In fact, even in the chat room, Michael B says, you do make sense that it is important that they could lose. The Democrats are looking at this from the level of if Alito, Sotomayor, or Clarence Thomas were to get out within the next 4 years, you don't want to give that power to Donald Trump because of the way in which. Yeah.
Imagine all three.
Yeah, exactly.
And he puts in more people of Gen X age, which seems to be where Trump leans.
Right.
Then you have some 50-plus-year-old people who are going to be there for the next 30 years.
And again, you would talk about a conservative court that would make, 2028 would be a conversation about stacking the court. That would be their only running point.
Yeah. And trust me, if Trump wins and J.D. Vance is his vice president, J.D. Vance is president in 2028.
Yeah.
He's a lock. That guy is good at what he does. He's a Marine. He has a good story. I don't like some of his stuff. He's a little too radical in some directions for me. I'm not real fond of his wife.
Okay.
But that's me.
Yeah, you set a pretty high bar, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I gotta get to another call, but thank you. I love that insight, though. It's something to consider. I'm gonna stick with mine, but I'm keeping that sort of in the wings. Let's go to Adam, who's in East Hartford. Hello, Adam. You're on Reese on the Radio. Adam, you there? Adam may have put himself on mute. Adam, that sounds like he's there. Adam, you there?
Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you now, Adam. What's going on, sir? You want me to Reese on the Radio?
Yeah, I was going to say that what I like about you, and I was telling Tom that you don't have a racist bone in your blood. A lot of people have had a chip on their shoulder due to their being discriminated against. But you and I, if you cut me, or they cut you, we both bleed red. We're brothers
Absolutely.
in the Lord, right? But the two police cases, though, a lot of the Black Lives Matters was exaggerated because you think about in Chicago and Detroit, every year 500 youths die at the hands of black-on-black crime.
Yep.
But this one recent, though, is bad, and it's going to make the police look bad. The guy that went in there and shot the lady over the boiling hot water. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not going to look good. Neither.
Yeah, but But if you notice about that story, Adam, let me tell you something about that story that you haven't seen. For some odd reason, that story has not gained the attention, even that of Eric Garner, the guy who was selling Lucy cigarettes in Staten Island. It hasn't even gained, and that was mediocre compared to every other story we had. Mike Brown, was it Freddie Gray? Like those stories were huge. It's on the level. In fact, I would go so far as to say it doesn't even have the level of interest that Tamir Rice's death had to. And those were two police officers who jumped out of their car in Ohio and shot a 13-year-old kid for playing with a fake gun. And that got noticed. That was during the Obama administration, and it got practically no burn on the network news. None. And it was all caught on video, I might add. And it got no burn. So I find it interesting that, look, it is a story that will probably get some attention. It probably won't get any real attention until the rest of this stuff that everyone's focusing on gets moved to sort of to the side or it's lost its fever, if you will. So I don't know exactly what's going to turn out, but it could just go away and the guy gets charged and we move on.
Right, but Eric Gardner, he was just out of shape, right? And he wanted to obey the police.
Eric Garner, yes, he was in a chokehold. He fell to the ground. He was in a chokehold. But you know the part about the Eric Garner thing that no one talks about? Do you know that the officer who subdued him during that stop, he was told to grab Eric Garner because his supervisor told him to, and his supervisor was a black woman on the scene. A lot of people don't mention that. That the white man who took all the guff about tackling Eric Garner to the ground when he resisted arrest, when they were going to put him in cuffs, that he ended up getting all of it, but he was following orders by his supervisor, a black woman who has never gotten the scrutiny of hauling this guy in over Lucy cigarettes, who's never gotten any scrutiny behind that as well, is none other than Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who promoted and pushed this crack team, this task force, to end the sale of Lucy cigarettes in the city. So all of this was at the behest of a governor who told the police officers to crack down on this. And then the crazy part is that after all of that happened, the most insane thing, the cigarette company or the cigarette store that sold the cigarettes to Eric Garner was a place in Woodbridge, Virginia, ironically enough, 2 blocks away from my home when I lived in Woodbridge. 2 blocks from my home. They sued him for over $1 million. That company was completely destroyed, and it was just some local yokel who sold the cigarettes to Eric Garner when he walked in. He sold him cases. He didn't know what Eric Garner was going to do with him, but he lost his whole business because of it. And because the mayor of New York set his dogs on a small little business in Virginia and destroyed him, made him culpable in the death of Eric Garner. A lot of people don't talk about that either.
No. But either way, you have a great show and you're a great host. When does Todd come back? We don't know.
I think we should know something, if not by next week. I'm back next week, but we'll know something soon. I'm expecting the Pokes and the Brass to tell me. Not that they keep me in the dark, but that's between them. I contact him as much as I can, and from what I gather, he's okay. He'll be back soon.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You got it, sir. And I hope that at least people you like me being here. Yeah, I'm teasing. We'll find out. But Todd's okay. I'm telling everybody that now. Todd's okay. I'm going to get into the identity politics thing in a little bit. I'm also going to get into this. What was the other thing that I had? I'm sorry. I have to grab the audio clips in order to see it. Yes, James Carville. James Carville has said something incredibly interesting about the news media and its overwhelming support for Kamala Harris. When you hear it, if you haven't already, because from what I gather, it's gone everywhere. But what he said was very interesting about Kamala Harris and this adoration from everyone to calm down, and they should really calm down. We'll play that when we get back. And don't forget, it's the airing of grievances Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I'm Reese On The Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg. We'll be back after this.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not.
Oh, you heard you're going to be back soon?
I'll be back on Monday.
This is pre-retirement.
Huh?
I'll be back on Monday.
Because unless you've already retired.
You said You heard he was going to be back soon.
Oh, no. I
Learn
said that
about
I'll be
retirement
back on Monday. I said
savings
I meant to
potential
say
tax
I'll be
breaks,
back
and how
soon,
you
but
can
I don't
build
know when he's
savings
coming
over
back.
time. Visit
Okay.
Pre-Retirement
I was like, damn, you heard some shit I ain't heard.
No,
yet.
I
to
would have
help you
told you.
customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, this is Mike. And at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. And maybe that's the reason all those remedies you tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy. You're going to feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me. And good movement starts with the feet.
Come in today. We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
1 minute.
Mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee, if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Yeah, we are going to hear about it. Grievances abound.
You got Matt in Bristol.
So if you've got to air a grievance today, here's your opportunity. 860-522-WTIC. Matt's in Bristol. Hello, Matt. You're on with Reese on the Radio. Airing of grievance first, or you want to comment? Doesn't matter. Open line.
I was going to ask you which one you want first.
I'll take the grievance first.
Okay. My grievance is, first of all, how do I get to this chat room, and why am I on official scallywag? I want to be on that list.
Okay, let's deal with that grievance right now. One, Matt in Bristol, you are officially a scallywag. And you are officially a scallywag. The way that you can get in on Being a Scallywag or in the chat room is to simply just, I think you are friend with me on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
If you're following me, it's different. If you're a friend on Facebook, become a friend on Facebook on the Reese Hopkins page, and then, or even on the WAC FM page, and you can go there. And once you start talking, you can go right on the live feed and just start talking in the chat room. And if I can see you, then I will read your comments right there. In fact, the Scallywags, Michael B. is already welcoming you to the fold. So officially, you are a Scallywag on the Reese On The Radio rundown. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. And if you were Democrat, it would be called Hopkins Heroes.
Not bad. I like that. Okay, what was the other thing you wanted to chime in on?
Okay, so I think when Trump debates Kamala, he needs to take a page out of your book. And when they say I was never the border czar, I was never going to control the border, Trump should take out a tape recorder and say, listen, the media calls me a liar, and just play Joe Biden.
Oh, Matt's breaking up. You know what? You're 100% right. I hope, and I do hope, and I think it's a good point, that what Donald Trump should do is commit to memory the exact reporters who called her the border czar and the time in which they did. He should commit that to memory and say that on the air. That would totally blow up everything. And if whomever he did the debate with, it was on, like if he does the debate with ABC News, quote the reporters from ABC News who said that she was the border czar. But that's not even the big point, Matt. I'll go one step further for you, okay? There's audio out there of her explaining exactly what she was there to do as the border czar, or so-called border czar, the root causes, to keep people in their home or their country of origin. And if that was her job when she was there, she failed at it miserably, even if she wasn't the border czar. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center and our first look at the traffic with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark. Who'll be there momentarily.
Reese.
Hey, Mark.
Turn the microphone on. There you go. Now that works much better. If you're heading into Hartford, good afternoon, Reese. Got delays up 44 Prospect Oakwood up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Boca Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 91 southbound, got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. If you're traveling northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Now, if you are 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you're heading into Middletown right now on the northbound side of Route 9, you got delays approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound, Waterbury delays 17 to 18. 84 westbound, you've got slow traffic from exit 27 to 25A in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury, some slow traffic between 8 and 9. Again, 84 eastbound in Newtown, you're slowing 10 to 11. The ride 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 to 44. And if you're traveling in the northbound side of I-90 of the Parkway, you've got delays approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. Sunshine and patchy clouds the remainder of this afternoon, less humid than recent days. High 86. Clear, cooler, and more comfortable tonight. Low 59. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Very nice start to the weekend. Warm but not too humid. Tomorrow's high 89. Tomorrow night clear and remaining comfortable. Low 60. Very warm Sunday. Still not too humid. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds. High temperature of 89. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Health officials have announced a recall of some boar's head, liverwurst, and other deli meats as they investigate a listeria outbreak. The outbreak has sickened nearly 3 dozen people and caused 2 deaths since late May. The Agriculture Department says that a tainted sample of boar's head liverwurst was found at a Maryland store as part of the investigation. The company is recalling liverwurst made at a Virginia plant, as well as other deli meats made the same day in June. As the tainted sample, testing is underway to determine whether the company's products are linked to the outbreak. Now, Big Y and Stop and Shop delis are temporarily closed in order to give workers in those respective grocers a chance to get rid of any potentially contaminated meat and clean the areas. Some changes are afoot within the Hartford Police Department. Walk beats are being re-implemented in some neighborhoods. This is Interim Police Chief Kenny Howell.
2 will walk Albany Avenue full-time, dedicated. 2 will walk Park Street full-time, dedicated. And 1 will walk the downtown beat. Now, this is just a start.
Howell, who's been on the job 2 weeks following the recent retirement of former Chief Jason Thode, says he wants to make the department more transparent and have his officers interact with the community they serve. In addition, 15 officers will also hit the streets to decrease 911 response times, and Hartford law firm Shipman and Goodwin will assist in a review of police reporting practices and policies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu continues his U.S. trip, including a sit-down in Florida with former President Trump. More from correspondent Linda Kenyon.
CIA Director William Burns is expected to meet with senior officials from Israel, Qatar, and Egypt. The visit in Rome follows a visit to Washington by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and a separate visit by the Prime Minister to the Florida estate of former President Trump. Netanyahu was asked about the prospects for a peace deal, which would include the release of hostages held by Hamas.
We're certainly eager to have one, and we're working on it.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is also working on it, having traveled to the Middle East several times in recent months. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Senator Richard Blumenthal wants action in wake of the IT meltdown last week that forced the cancellation of thousands of airline flights. He says the airlines, Delta in particular, need to issue refunds to consumers and not just credits for future flights.
Reports are that a lot of airline travelers have been refused refunds, and that is not only a violation of law, it breaches the duty that airlines have.
Now, the industry was among many impacted by the CrowdStrike fiasco that rendered millions of computers virtually inoperable last Friday. 2 leaders of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel were arrested by U.S. federal officials on Thursday on a ruse that they were being flown to look at land to buy in northern Mexico. The 2 are Ismael Zambada, known as El Mayo, and Joaquin Guzman Jr., son of the notorious drug lord El Chapo.
The arrests are significant because they are among the most powerful drug lords in Mexico, running a ruthless operation to transport illegal drugs to the U.S. and Europe. The 2 men face several charges, including for transporting fentanyl into the U.S., fueling a crisis that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans.
It's correspondent Manuel Bajorquez. Fans of Hartford's former NHL team going to reunite for another alumni weekend. It is happening this weekend at Duncan Park. Former Whalers play-by-play man Chuck Caton among those making the yearly pilgrimage.
Kevin Dineen was a great part of it. Obviously scored the last goal in Whaler history, as you'll remember, on that April day back in 1997. And we're going to have a
rallying around
players.
Photos, autographs,
and Joe
batting
Biden.
practice, all part
She
of
was
the deal.
a successful campaign for the president.
Proceeds.
Banning fracking,
This
about
report from the
medical-
Summer Games in Paris,
She has a record.
sponsored by
She has a record.
Middlesex Health, the Smarter
for the Attorney
Choice
General.
for Care.
For the entire, who are some of the biggest states.
CBS
And she
Summer
has a
Games.
record
Here's
as
Wendy
vice
Gillette.
president. Of
There definitely seems
all
to be
she
something
has
in
to
the water
do
in Carmel,
is
Indiana.
bring
14
attention
swimmers from the city
to
competed in the
people
swimming
just
Olympic
lie
trials.
and
3
lie
made
to
the team.
speech.
I think it's
The
incredible.
problem
Mayor Sue Finka marvels at those numbers in a city
to
of only
her record.
106,000.
We have had a strong swimming program for many years. We've got great facilities.
They include the Carmel Swim Academy and a powerhouse high school program. 38 state championships on the girls' side and 10 in a row for the boys.
We've had strong coaches for 30 or 40 years here.
Watch for Carmel's Alex Shackle in the women's 200-meter fly and 800-meter relay. brother Aaron Shackle in the 400 free and Drew Kibler in the 800 free relay. Their races will be broadcast on a big screen TV in the city center.
We'll have the whole community behind everybody.
The city even changed its signs to say, "Welcome to Swim City, USA." I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow finished up 654 points today. The Nasdaq gained 176, and the S&P was up 59 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Being injured
can
leave you feeling vulnerable and lost. You need a fast and fair resolution and a law firm that can protect you. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team personal injury lawyers have over years of combined experience.
What'd you say?
And will treat
He's just going to be getting back, turning it over. We're going to have about 15 seconds.
That's
it? Lawyers are here to help.
Yeah, it's already about to be
a lawyer.
Yeah, you ain't going to even have 15 seconds. You're just turning it right over.
Okay. Responsible for the content of this ad.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must
Damn, how do we have so
always
many
go on.
commercials? Did I
That's
go
why he
out too
works
late?
behind the scenes, ensuring every light
Bunch of commercials for some reason. Days be like that.
Oh, I hear you.
With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We've only got a couple of seconds, but I want to say this before we get to the BPS Traffic Center. Have you ever played Jenga? Have you ever played the big block Jenga? Edie's, the big giant blocks? Well, I played yesterday, folks, and I have got a story to tell you. But if you want to see it for yourself, you got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and friend me on Facebook. You can even go on Instagram and see the video. It is the most amazing video ever. I have to call it the greatest Jenga move known to man. I will tell you about it in a little bit. But until then, let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Have you ever played the big giant version of Jenga? Not the human body version, but just like a bigger scale of Jenga, like at a bar or any of that stuff? Mark? Who's not
talking
there?
about?
Yeah.
You're talking to me about Jenga?
Yeah. Have you ever played the big, not the one at home, like the big block ones?
No, I have not.
Listen to me. You have got to go to my Facebook page. You have got to go. If you go to Instagram, it's there too. You got to see the most amazing move I've ever seen, and I pulled it off.
Jenga?
On Jenga. It is amazing.
And you pulled it off?
I pulled it off. It is. In fact, the thing tipped over, and I should have lost. But what happens is miraculous. You would think somebody like a ghost came in and moved it back up. You've got to watch it to believe it. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Back to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, look for delays. 44 up to 46 Sisson Avenue. Westbound 84 is tied up in East Hartford, approaching the Bulky Bridge. Southbound 91 delays 33, down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. If you're northbound 91, that moves well. Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, no issues east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound delays in Middletown from 22 up to the Erie County Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury, you got some slow traffic approaching exit 17 up to 18. If you are traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound, you're looking at delays 22 up toward the Erie County Bridge. Now we're seeing some heavy traffic, 84 eastbound in Danbury by exit 8. Again, delays from 9 in Newtown up to exit 11 in Newtown. The northbound side of the Parkway, tight traffic now as you approach 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, that delays from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. 91 southbound delays 3 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it's going to be quite comfortable out there. We'll see partial sunshine along with low humidity, high temperature up to 86, and clear skies in store for tonight. We'll have a low down of 59 as we head into tomorrow, mostly sunny and turning out very warm with a high temperature up to 89. We'll see clear skies once again tomorrow night, low down to 60. Then another very warm day in store for Sunday with sunshine mixing with some clouds. The high Sunday up to 89. Then it turns breezy as we head into Monday with a mix of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower or thunderstorm around as well with a high temperature on Monday of 82. Right now it's 85 in Windsor, 80 degrees in Tolland, and 81 in Hartford.
What'd you say, sir?
Meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 people don't even like Philly cheesesteaks. More loved than the most loved sandwich in the city of brotherly love? Does that make us siblings? Well, we do treat our customers like family. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 people would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
When you haven't found love,
Oh, man.
like everyone else has, it's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
The airing of
on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And I'm expecting those phone calls. The airing of grievances. There's so many things. Unless you're all cured. So let me tell you about this real quick, just on a personal note. My wife, I don't want to use the word complains because that sounds, that's a pejorative. I don't want to say she complains, but sometimes she'll get on my case, and rightly so. I deserve it. That we don't do date night. My wife calls it as a bubble. She goes, I missed the bubble. What she means by that is she and I are in our own world. When we first started dating, we would always get into these quiet little places where we'd either be in the bedroom or we'd be someplace, maybe even in a car. And she would call it the bubble. She goes, I missed the bubble. We need to get back in the bubble. And when we do that, we reconnect, as all relationships do. We're not doing anything, not reinventing the wheel. This is so important to her. And I get so involved with work here on the air, of course, on my podcast, running the private business, all of that stuff. And I become a workaholic, and I get so into that rhythm. I create a rhythm for myself, and it's almost like jogging or, riding a bike. I'm just in that rhythm, and I get into my own bubble. And she'll drag me out of that and go, we got to go on a date. We got to go out and go do something. So we did that. Last night, we're walking. We stop at this place that we had thought about stopping before, but she's been dying to go. So we get there. We had never been there before. We get there, and there's this big, giant Jenga thing, right? And it's like triple the size of Jenga. I've never played the Jenga game. It's only been out since 1983. Did you know that? It's only 41 years old. And we go to play this game, and I think it's silly, whatever. So she doesn't say a word. She just pulls out a peg. And she goes, go ahead. And I'm immediately going, all right. I pull out another one. This goes on for an hour. Our food comes, we stop, we eat, and everything out the pegs, and we start going in And it's getting higher and higher. Everyone at the restaurant is now paying attention to us. They have a live guitar player there. Even he's in on it now. They're watching this whole epic Jenga thing between my wife and I because it keeps getting higher, keeps getting higher. I want this thing to end, but I'm kind of having fun. But I need it to end. So I'm saying to myself, the only way this is going to end is if I start getting risky. And I do. You have to see the video. So I grab this one thing and I figure I'm going to put my finger right in between one of the pegs and I'm going to flick it out and grab it with my hand. And it's probably going to topple just because I hit it too hard. And not only that, the table is wobbly, the whole system, and I do it. And sure enough, my wife catches the whole thing on camera and I grab it. The top, it literally falls down. And then for some odd reason, the weight of the blocks pulls it back up, keeps the structure in place. The whole place goes wild. And of course, I take a celebratory dance. You have to see it to believe it. But in order for you to see it, you got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, friend us on Facebook or on Instagram so you can see it. It's the top video there now, with the exception of this one playing live, just to see it yourself. It is an amazing video. For me, even. I'm just happy that I did it. And I ended up making it fall later on. We'll post that one later. Where I tried it one more time, second time's the charm. It didn't work the second time around and the whole thing collapsed. But you've got to watch it to believe it. It's an amazing video. And my wife was so furious when it happened. So go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to check it out. Let's get back to the phones. Steve is in Middletown. Steve, you're on Reese on Radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
Hey, Reese, I've got a grievance here.
Oh, let's go.
All right. All of a sudden, the national media is memory holding all of Vice President Harris's past.
Yes.
Right? That's my grievance.
Well, do not think that here, with Reese on the Radio at the helm, that we would not satisfy your grievance with audio sound bites. Stand by. Stay on the line, Stephen. Yeah. Listen real close. This is Representative James Clyburn talking about exactly what you're talking about, this memory holding of Kamala Harris.
That's what speaks. The problem we've got here in politics today, people just lie and lie and lie, and we are tending to accept that as normal.
Now, what's he talking about? The lie and lie and lie. He's saying that Kamala Harris heard people talking about her position on defund the police is a lie, that she never said that she agreed with defunding the police. But again, that's all on tape.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Sounds like defund the police to me, Stephen. Doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah. Hold on. But wait, Steve, I don't want anybody to think that we're parsing Kamala Harris's words. Okay? I think we should let her continue, right? I mean, if anything, if your enemy is underground, you kind of let them dig, right? Right? Yep. So let's let her go.
Because, by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets.
Because there's no crime there.
But what they do have, they have well-funded schools. What they do have is home ownership, high home ownership rates. What they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services. So this whole movement is about rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities.
That's right. We need to look at these budgets and see if they're funding the right priorities. That would be the definition of defunding the police, wouldn't it be, Steve?
Sure would.
Okay, so all of that is nonsense. Her record is about to come and bite her on the bum, and we expect that to happen in the next coming days. In a little bit, I'll play the audio that is definitely going to solidify that. And as I always say, don't take my word for it, take theirs. Thank you, Steve, for the call. Let's go. Let's try it one more time. Let's go to Tim in Hamden. Hello, Tim. You're on Reese On The Radio. I'm assuming you have a grievance today.
No, I don't, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Thank you for taking my call.
Not a problem. How you doing, Tim?
I'm wondering if you have seen the second video from J.D. Vance. You know, you saw the first one with Tucker Carlson and everything, right?
Yeah. Yes. In fact, it was on my news feed this morning.
You know, essentially, you know, saying that the people without, you know, the women with cats, you know, remark and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, so what women? The whole old ladies with cats thing. What's the big issue with this line? Just so, because forgive me, maybe I'm not being sensitive enough to the remark, Tim. So can you explain to me?
Don't know.
No. Explain to me why that's a big deal. I'm hearing it a lot on mainstream media. What am I missing?
They're sad and pathetic.
Okay.
And they're not being worthy of people who have children. People who have children are more worthy citizens. You know, just because you know.
Okay, so let me
included a gay man.
Let me respond to it this way. I get this a lot, like when I get into arguments with people in the African-American community who are generally liberal, and I'll start making these, broad claims, like I'll talk about people in a broad way, in maybe in an argument or maybe in a discussion, and people were saying, "Who are you talking about? What are you trying to say?" And they immediately take a personal offense to that. And my response to them is, and I've used this over and over again: if it don't apply, let it fly. If it ain't you, what does it matter, right? That's not you, right? If it don't apply, let it fly.
He's calling people. You know, I'm trying to develop the next step. The new video that's come out, where Vance, you know, they dig out all the stuff that he's also said,
right,
about how parents should vote for their children. So if you have 3 or 4 children, you know, and stuff, you as parents get 3 or 4 extra votes. You know.
Wait. Did he say that because you should get a vote for every one of your children?
Yes.
Okay. Is that exactly what the quote is?
You know, read it for yourself.
No, I will listen. I will take exactly what you want. Rotenox says in the chat room, let me read what he says to us, because I guess he's either commenting to what you're saying, Tim. So let me read it to you. It says, childless cat ladies. He was, of course, saying that kids who don't want children shouldn't be leading decisions making on what happens to other people's kids. It's not people who want, but can't have. So I guess in a sense, he's correcting. He said, no, listen, he's just responding to what you said. Childless cat ladies. He's, of course, saying that kids who don't want, or people who don't want children, shouldn't be the leading decision on what happens to other people's kids. Is that not the overall?
He's also saying that, you know, people who can't have children, you know, shouldn't really be making decisions. You know,
well, wait a minute now, Tim.
So that's what that says.
Tim,
but
then look. Well, let me respond to what you just said. Let me do that, and I'll let you go on. Let me respond to what you just said. So that everyone is clear, I don't want to be, you know, mixing your words up and misquoting you, right? J.D. Vance saying that people who can't have kids, or people who don't have kids, because he's saying both, people who can have kids and people who don't have kids. He's saying both of them should not be making decisions for other people's children. If I'm getting it right, you're saying that's something, I don't know, unseemly that he said. Now, with that, keeping it in mind,
okay,
isn't it okay then to say it's wrong to suggest that men who don't have babies shouldn't be opining about abortion in this country? That is no, because now you're saying, right? How about this? If you've never been a police officer, never criticize the police. How about you've never been a judge? Wait. You've never been a judge, a prosecutor, or a lawyer. You shouldn't be rioting because of an acquittal of George Zimmerman or someone in a criminal case with the police. If you've never been those things, you shouldn't have any say in those things. Now, people get angry all the time about certain things that they know nothing about. Right? They've never been in that particular job, but they could tell everybody, like Derek Chauvin shouldn't have had his knees on George Floyd's back. Yet evidence supports that's what his training taught him. But you've never had that training.
You're essentially saying someone on a jury trying to make a decision about whether a police officer committed, some sort of form of murder, and he gets both sides of the argument back and forth. No, they don't get to, because they've never been a police officer.
No,
I'm a judge and all that sort of
I
stuff.
am not saying that, Tim.
They don't get to
Tim, what I am saying is that the argument, if we're going to make a case where J.D. Vance can't say that people without children have no right to make decisions about others, if that's a no-no, then don't get mad when someone says, wait a minute, you guys tell men all the time they're not allowed to opine about pregnancy because they don't get pregnant.
No, they shouldn't be, decide, black and white, family decisions.
Wait a minute, seven men made the decision for Roe v. Wade. And when it was brought up again in the Dobbs decision, there were finally women in the Supreme Court.
Oh,
and Roe v. Wade was over there.
Lied about their testimony and said it was a settled decision.
Okay,
now
again,
we've got JD
but it was a settled decision until the Dobbs case comes to their.
Yeah, well, right. So we found another one. So what I'm saying now is there's a video saying that people should get extra votes. And stuff. And
I'll actually check out. I'll check out the video. In fact, I'll have it in the next break because we got to go to the BPS Traffic Center.
Okay.
But I will look it up and I will even play the audio for you as soon as I find it. I'll play it. And thank you for telling Tim. And I'm sorry that you couldn't come in with a grievance. I was really hoping for that. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark, you can always join in on the grievance on the airing of grievances if you feel like it.
Okay, today I'm pretty even keeled. I'm not really.
Oh, come on!
Right now.
Air the grievance of traffic.
What's that? Wow.
You saw it. Okay, so Mark Christopher's playing the audio of the Jenga thing. What did you think?
You are the Jenga champ there. Look at you. How did you do that without it falling down?
I have no idea.
Holy cow. And the Willie Nelson in the background. Oh, man. I was like, what's going on here? Reese is out of control now. That was a slick move, though, man.
It was.
Should have came down, and somehow
I don't know how
it didn't. You have a surgeon's hand. That's all I'm going to say, Reese. You are very steady.
Thank you.
Heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound. We've got delays from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, you're slowing down by exit 28. If you're on the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter. Westbound 84, a little tap of the brakes, Bulkley Bridge. 84 eastbound, slow traffic as you move from exit 44 Prospect Oakwood up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that moves well east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound, delays 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're traveling 84 eastbound in Whatever, you're slowing by 18. On the eastbound side of 84 in Danbury, delays from exit 8 up to 9 in Newtown. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 10 to 11 in Newtown. Northbound on the Parkway, you've got slow traffic 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you're slowing from 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. And the northbound side of 95 delays from 42 up to exit 48 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Sunny to partly cloudy the rest of this afternoon. Noticeably lower humidity, high 86. It'll be turning cooler tonight under a clear sky, and overnight low of 59. Mostly sunny tomorrow, very warm tomorrow afternoon, but with low humidity, high 89. Tomorrow night clear, low 60. Sunday very warm, still not too humid. Sunshine mixing with some clouds during the afternoon. Sunday's high temperature once again, 89. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Some change is coming to the Hartford Police Department. Interim Chief Kenny Howell says walk beats will return to 3 neighborhoods, Albany Avenue, Park Street, and the downtown area. Stop and Shop and Big Y Delis closed for a time today. This in light of a listeria outbreak involving some boar's head meats. The grocers are getting rid of potentially tainted meat, including liverwurst and ham products. There's been nearly 36 cases of listeria, 2 deaths since May that may be linked to the tainted meat. New Haven man accused of beating his son outside a grocery store Thursday was in court today. Kareem Smalls being held on a $250,000 bond after police say he beat the 12-year-old, which prompted police to deploy a canine to arrest him. And he, again, is facing charges of assault and risk of injury. Former President Barack Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama are endorsing Vice President Harris and her White House bid, giving Harris the expected but still crucial backing of the nation's most popular Democrats. The endorsement announced earlier today. And Paris has kicked off its first Summer Olympics in a century with a rain-soaked, rule-breaking opening ceremony. Widespread travel disruptions triggered by what French officials said were coordinated arson attacks on high-speed rail lines and trains in Paris that dampened the mood ahead of the ceremony's start this evening. WTIC News Time 4:31 on Wall Street. The Dow finished up 654 points. NASDAQ gained 176. S&P was up 59. Yanks and Red Sox from Fenway tonight, 6:10, the pregame here on the radio. The Braves continue their 4-game series with the Mets at Citi Field. Eastern League, it's Whalers Alumni Weekend at Duncan Park. Harrisburg takes on the Yard Goats, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't...
Wait a minute.
If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
And we're back. I did find the quote. It was really easy. And you want to know the first place where the quote was? This is fantastic, folks. The quote is in Snopes, the left-wing fact-check site. And here is the headline of the Snopes article on Tim and Hamden's call. Fact check. J.D. Vance says parents should have bigger say in democracy than non-parents. Here's the context. The quote, childless people don't have any physical commitment to the future of this country. That's the quote. And the claim is that the Republican vice presidential nominee and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance once said parents should have a bigger say in the U.S. democracy than non-parents. The rating says correct attribution, not false, not true, correct attribution. Here's the context. Quote, these children are the future of this country, and yet the parents who have them actually have no advantage in our democratic process. They have a smaller voice in some ways, in very many ways, or in very many cases, than the people who don't have any children at all. The children who come from these families have no real representative in our democracy. Why don't we change that? No word is said of votes. No word said of allowing them to vote more than once at all. Now, I can read that and I can make something up. I could suggest he means something, but there's no actual context, no actual words that say they should get more. You could say that they should be represented more and their voices more by their representative government. Perhaps they shouldn't listen to the people screaming with no children at town hall meetings. They should be listening to the people who actually have children who our future should be invested in, instead of people who just want things changed for themselves. That's all. I think that's fair. I don't know how he intends to get that done. They do have the bigger megaphone. But let's not fabricate the words. I think we're creating something that isn't there. And I know what it's for. Kamala Harris is getting her butt kicked on things she actually said. So let's kind of parse J.D. Vance's words and kind of insinuate that he's saying something. Much less like the bloodbath claim. Remember that? It'd be a bloodbath for the whole country. Donald Trump isn't elected. When he said it would really be a bloodbath in the auto industry. And everybody knew it. You knew what we were talking about. You knew. Let's get again to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading 91 southbound into Hartford, delays 33 down to 32 A and B. On the northbound side of 91, just a little tap of the brakes as you move between 21 and 22 in Cromwell. Again, a little slow up by 25, 26 in Wethersfield. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84, a little top of the brakes, Bulkby Bridge, 84 eastbound, slowing 44, up to 46 Sisson Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, delays 22 to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury, slowing by 18. 84 westbound, you got delays 26 to 25A in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury, delays from exit 8 up to 9, again from 10 to 11 on the eastbound side of 84 Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, a little tight as you move down by exit 60. 95 southbound delays 48 down to 44, and 95 northbound you'll see slow traffic from exit 41 up to exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Well, it is going to be nice for the rest of this afternoon with partly sunny skies and low humidity. We'll head up to a high of 86 degrees and clear skies and comfortable tonight. Great weather for sleeping as we head down to a low of 59 degrees. Tomorrow turns out mostly sunny and very warm with a high of 89. Clear skies once again tomorrow night. Another comfortable night with a low down to 60. Then a very warm day in store for Sunday as sunshine mixes with some clouds. We'll have a high Sunday up to 89. Then it turns out breezy and not quite as warm on Monday with a mix of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower or two around as well with a high Monday of 82. Right now it's 81 in Avon, 83 degrees in Manchester, and 81 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Here at Columbia Implant Center, we offer leading-edge technology that allows our patients to have their procedures done in one day, 7 days a week.
I scheduled my treatment on a Sunday, and I'll be back to work on Monday.
The thought of dentures at my age, that was the last thing I wanted. But I didn't want the pain anymore either.
Columbia Implant Center eased my mind. They feel like my own teeth.
Our digital dental lab crafts your smile while you wait. It provides efficient and dynamic care that takes less time away from the things that matter to you most.
Space.
1 minute.
Frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to
Damn, next Wednesday we got another day game.
I know. I heard. I saw. I got the email on.
Main storage area as well.
I got the email on.
A place to display your space collectibles.
So you be on for an hour mainstream, then.
Oh, really?
Series of high
then 4 o'clock is we on the
safe space
back in the back burner.
Utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. It's Reese on the Radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Taking it to him, son. It's Reese on the Radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. To the comments we go in the chat room. First, let me say to Tara P. Tara, do me a favor. I've tried to find you. During the break, I was going to send you the text to the link. But let me tell you, this is one of the best places to go. I love this site. It's called Grabien, Grabien. Grabien is the best place to go for these clips. If you're interested in finding out that clip about Harris talking about defund the police, you can find it there. If you want to subscribe to it, it's $1 a month if you're interested. But it is such a great research site for those of us who are in this, podcasters and things like that. It's one of my favorite places to go. I've got everybody checking it out. If you can't sit and watch the news all day, this is the greatest place in the world for you. So check it out. In fact, Tara, send me an instant message on Facebook, because I know that where you're following me there. If you did not get the spelling, contact me there. I will make sure that I get you to not just the site, but I'll get you to the link so you can get it as well. Latexual is in the house. Fizzlegig is in the house as well. Scallywags abound. He says, the green screen makes you look like you have black fingernail polish when you point sometimes. White Mike says, to be fair, I don't think it's a good look when men make abortion their issue. It's like me, a bald white man, wanting to legislate jerry curls. Okay, fair enough. That's a reasonable argument. So I'm not making an argument about abortion. If I'm making an argument ever about abortion, it is simply this, okay? Is that men should have some say in this. Let me tell you why. And if women or if the left didn't open the floodgates on this, I wouldn't make a big deal about it. When I was talking about abortion in the beginning, and we're talking 22 years ago, when I first started talking about the abortion issue, I was talking about it for men who were with women, who had children, who women were deciding to have an abortion. The fathers wanted to have the child, but had no say, no argument, no discussion at all. And I thought that was a little unfair. Okay? Then, and that was always my position. I never really made a big deal out of it. People would ask, and I would tell what I thought. That was it. Then something else happened. And that's the left started glamorizing abortion. Women started coming out of the woodwork talking about, I had 9 abortions. Can't wait for my next. I'm like, okay, fine. They drew first blood, as Rambo once said. And then I said, okay, fine. You guys want to go on this thing. And I'll never forget it. Some woman came on my Facebook page and started cursing me out. And was talking about this mother, this and mother, that and mother. How dare he and mother, this and mother, that. And so I went on my podcast, and I famously went on the B rant. But I made my case, but I just went on a B rant, and I did. But while I was going on my B rant, I was making the case. And then I said the one thing that shut everybody up. And I simply said, hey, we can get into the discussion about your ovaries because if I heard you correctly, you don't need them to identify as a woman now. And then everybody shut up. Everyone ran for the hills. It was like you had turned on the roaches in the hood and the cockroaches scattered. As soon as I said that, conversation was over. They had nothing to say. Hey, you won't even stand up for yourselves in the ladies' bathroom. You think you got a case for abortion anymore? It's over. You said I couldn't talk about it because I am not a woman. Apparently, all I have to do is say I am. Conversation engaged. Right? And so now women no longer use that anymore. You notice they're not saying it anymore? If you look around. Take a look. Do it. 1, 2, 360. See if they're talking about that whole thing about you're not a woman, you can't talk about it. Not even, nope, at all. Yeah. Point made. Here end the lesson. Let's go to Fred in Middletown. Hello, Fred. You on Reese on the Radio?
Hey, 2 quick things. One, I'm glad I got that Jesse Kelly prediction in there. Just under the wire. It was a tepid chintzy endorsement, but it was an endorsement.
It was.
Nonetheless. And the other thing, I had, not really taking you to task, but I had said exactly these words, that you had a Tim from Hamden Jones a while back.
You did say that. Listen, I confirmed. You know what? I even conceded to it. I said, I like when Tim calls. For me personally, I like when he calls.
Well, the follow-up, you have corrected. You have no more Jones. You take him like just another caller, man, and you like deal with him 100%. He has no hold on you. His drug value or whatever it was, gone.
Well, look, I wish he wouldn't. I wish that, listen, his argument, like many others, he actually reminds me of, and you've listened to me talk about this, my family chat, he sounds a lot like my relatives in this case, where they make their arguments based upon whatever they watched on MSNBC. The sad part about it is that they approach me under the impression, well, he only watches Fox News. He won't know what I'm talking about. What they fail to realize is that I'm watching the news that he's watching. I'm watching the networks and the websites that he's watching. So when he comes up with these talking points, I already know them before he says them. So I've already got a response to them before it. So I'm actually on the playground before he gets there.
Yeah, he's looking for a battle of the binaries, and his argument, which is not really a great. Yeah, I mean it's that mind.
It is an unfair fight. It's an unfair fight.
Yeah, it's a battle with an unarmed man. It's not a fair fight. Yeah. Well, just that, since I had remembered saying that, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't take any doesn't waste any time with Tim anymore. Tom just kind of makes sport of him. He picks him up like a
but like I said, it's the reaching. And again, I say these even to my friends, my liberal friends. I'm like, I hope you don't pull your back with all the reaching, because it's like they're going above and beyond to grab anything. And I think, as I've said here, Fred, over and over again, and I think that many others, even Tom, Todd, and all of us have said, that it is an act of desperation that you have to take quotes like bloodbath or very fine people and mold them into something that doesn't exist, which means, if you have to create something out of nothing, it means you're losing already, and you need something bombastic to throw attention away from it. And people who believe it or fall into that trap, it's hard to believe that the president of the United States, who has access to all the secrets, doesn't have access to the actual quote that Donald Trump said in Charlottesville. That I find fascinating, right? He knows exactly where all the bodies are buried, exactly all the secret missions happening with our government around the world, but can't do a simple Google search on what exactly Donald Trump said about Charlottesville. It's willful ignorance at best.
Yeah, that was one big psyop from start to finish anyway, but thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Hey, come on, I'll give you a chance to air a grievance if you want it, Fred.
don't have one on the tip of my tongue.
Okay. All right, you guys got to work on your grievances, man. It's like everybody's happy. Much appreciated, Fred. I appreciate you. Yeah, so, and like I said, Tim's a great call. For me, someone said this, I guess it's my wife, I'd have to say. When we first started dating, my wife, she said, do you enjoy debating with me? And I said to her, like, what do you mean? She was like, well, I kind of feel like sometimes we get a little heated, and because we don't agree, like, we get really, really intense. She goes, I hope that, you don't think I'm being disrespectful or I'm being mean-spirited, because we can get pretty animated or exercised on the issue. And I said to her, I love our debates. I mean, are you kidding me? I love this relationship sort of began because we disagreed with one another, but we smiled about it. Like, we didn't disrespect each other. We were enjoying the banter of two people's different position. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm in an echo chamber. I can't have somebody just yes-manning me the whole time. I need to be challenged. I don't want anybody to codify my position. I need to debate with someone and see their point of view so that I know that, and if I'm wavering in any way in what I believe, it will happen in that debate, or it will codify it by having that discussion. I need that more and more. I gotta have that. So that's, look, I understand with WTIC, a lot of people say, it's like, well, you're only going to talk to the people. Like, not always. I encourage them all the time. It's the reason why I tell everybody, if you've got people in the African-American community that you're friends with, and I know some of you do, you need to tell them, encourage them to get in here and talk about, they need their beliefs challenged as well. Oh, and trust me, I'm the guy to do it. I invite it. Let's get to the phones again. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Keith is in all the way in Sacramento. What's going on, Keith?
This is the airing of grievances section of the show, is it
Sure.
not?
Well, the whole show.
Okay, well, the whole show. Okay. My grievance is that I am sitting here lonely in the Twitch channel and no one is joining. So I would like all of your listeners to make sure to go to Reese on the Radio on Twitch and join Fizzle Gigs in celebrating Reese on the Radio.
Thank you, Fizzle Gig. And you know what? I don't promote Twitch as much, but you're absolutely right. For those of you who are on Twitch, you can find Reese on the Radio there and join Fizzle Gig, who, of course, is a scallywag as well from the Reese on the Radio rundown. He's been self-promoting me, absolutely unpaid. What do you call it? Hype man.
Pro bono.
Exactly. Pro bono. Pro bono hype man.
Pro bono Flavor Flav.
Yes, right. My pro bono Flavor Flav on Twitch. Thank you, Fizzle Gig. I really appreciate that. That is the best grievance I could hear all day. People, join on Twitch if you're there.
Love. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's go to Commentary, who's in Texas. Again, that's the greatest part about ReeseOnTheRadio.com. We're getting them from all over the country. What's going on, Commentary?
I got a grievance against GoFundMe, man, and there's a million different ways I could take this. You got YouTube celebrities and wannabe stars that hurt themselves and put up a GoFundMe.
Wow.
And people donate to it.
Yeah.
They hurt themselves doing stupid stuff. But the one in particular that I really want to identify today or target is going to be motorcyclists. If you want to buy a motorcycle and put your family's future in danger, should anything happen to you, if you're the sole breadwinner, if you want to get on a motorcycle and show off to your friends and do a bunch of videos and be all fancy, you want to take the risk with all these idiot drivers in the world and get on a motorcycle without a helmet and expect that everybody that's not on their phone is automatically going to see you, then you don't deserve a GoFundMe when you get hit by a car.
Are they doing something? Commentary, not to cut you off. This is important though. Are these guys trying to purposely hurt themselves so they can do a GoFundMe and then be in so much finance for their stupidity?
I mean, I would hope not, because some of them are dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, and there's been like 6 accidents just in the city of Lubbock alone that involving motorcycles, probably within the last week. And every single one of them, they need help with the medical expenses. You know, you're riding around on a $70,000 Harley. What you need my money for? You good? You got all that disposable income, then you better have top-tier insurance. Why you got a motorcycle with some bogus insurance? I just don't think GoFundMe, you know, you got people getting locked up out here for committing crimes, and then their family puts up a GoFundMe for bet. It's just ridiculous. You know, people take advantage of it.
But you know
I know
what?
That's way too...
It's no. I get what you're saying. It's like sometimes the crowdfunding can go left of center or go completely outrageous. But I get what you're saying. If you're using GoFundMe, but you know what? Listen, a fool and his money will soon be departed. So I mean, there's a level of this that I kind of got to say. If you gave your money to one of these bozos for the stuff that they're doing to themselves, that's on you. We can't really control that. It's like people have the free will to spend their money on whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, and I'll end with this: is it all goes back to personal responsibility.
That's right.
Man. Nobody has any of that anymore, and we expect everybody else to pay for our poor decisions and our poor actions without having any clarity on what the forest looks like through the trees.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I got.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Good. Actually, good.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, let's get into one. If we can get Heather in for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Hello, Heather. You're on with Reese on Radio.
Hi, Reese. I'm a first-time caller.
Yes, ma'am.
Into your show when you're covering. I don't really have a grievance.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I thoroughly enjoy when you're covering Tom or whoever.
Yeah.
I love listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
I just started following you on Facebook.
I got you.
And I did watch your Jenga video. It was amazing.
Thank you. I wasn't tooting my own horn, right? It was actually pretty good.
No, it was actually pretty good. But, yeah, I've been listening since Rush, when Rush was there. And
Yeah.
I think you're a good alternative. You put a good take on everything when you talk about it, just like he did. So I just wanted to say I enjoy listening to you. And
he is my mentor, and it means a lot for you to say that. I'm always wondering whether or not I live up to his standard. But when you say things like that, it gives me at least something to consider that people believe that about me. So thank you very, very much. I'm very, very humbled by that. And you made my day with that. You did. Thank you, Heather. Much, much appreciated. And thank you for calling. And thank you for even being your first time. I want this on tape so I can show my wife. No, okay. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. You play that all the time for me, Mark. If they ever allow me to do it, I will make that my intro.
The city was gone, the pretender.
Yes, always.
My friends, thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84 delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford up to exit 46th Avenue. We had an accident on the right shoulder. It looks like they just pulled that out of there now, so there should be less of a curiosity delay now. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic as you move up on 46th Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Southbound 91 slows 33 to 32 A and B, and Hartford again down by exit 28. If you're traveling southbound on 91 in Meriden, a little tight as you move from 19 down to 17 in the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 looks real good. Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384, no problems there. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing by 18. 84 eastbound in Danbury, you've got delays 8 up to exit 11 in Newtown. And if you're heading toward New Haven, southbound on the Parkway delays 61 to 60. Northbound Parkway slows 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Lower humidity has returned to the area, and this trend will continue right through the weekend. Sunshine, patchy cloud cover the rest of this afternoon, somewhat breezy. Definitely less humid than recent days, high 86. Clear, cooler, and more comfortable tonight with a low of 59. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Beautiful start to the weekend. Very warm tomorrow afternoon, but with low humidity, high 89. Clear, comfortable weather tomorrow night, low 60. Once again, 50s at outlying areas. For Sunday, sunshine mixing with some afternoon clouds. Still very warm, but still not too humid. Sunday's high temperature, 89. For Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 66 degrees. Monday, clouds and occasional sun. Breezy and not as warm. There could be a shower with a high temperature of 81. Maybe a shower or thunderstorm in the area on Tuesday. Mostly cloudy and More humid again. Tuesday's high 83. We expect similar weather across the area on Wednesday. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Administration in the Hartford Police Department has unveiled some changes. They include a return to walk beats in some city neighborhoods. Interim Police Chief Kenny Howell says they put their heads together to come up with beats in 3 neighborhoods for starters. He also says more officers will be added to patrol and decrease 911 response times.
We actually locked ourselves into an office, into a room, and worked for several hours to find 20 officers to go back, and that's what we accomplished. So 15 will go back into community patrol operations, and 5 was a priority for walk beats.
And those new walk beats will be along Albany Avenue, Park Street, and the downtown area. Big Y and Stop and Shop have announced they have closed their store delis temporarily after concerns over listeria-contaminated boar's head meat products. The USDA announced a recall of some boar's head, liverwurst, and other deli meats, including ham, that they are investigating as part of a possible listeria outbreak that has sickened nearly 3 dozen people and caused 2 deaths. The Agriculture Department announced today that Boar's Head has recalled liverwurst because it may be tainted with the listeria bacteria. Vice President Harris received an important phone call today.
All to say, Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Former President Barack and former First Lady Michelle Obama officially endorsed the VP in her campaign for president. Harris must still pick a running mate before the Democratic convention next month. California's largest wildfire burning in Chico, scorching 70,000 acres a day.
Hope the wind would continue the direction it was coming from, but we knew basically where the fire was going to come up if it did come out of the canyon, and it did exactly what we figured it was going to do.
Fire being fueled by hot weather and strong winds. A week after a security upgrade on millions of computers went sideways, causing chaos at airports, Senator Richard Blumenthal wants airlines to make good with consumers. Well, he says the glitch was not the fault of the airlines. They should still issue refunds on canceled flights as required by law.
Now, what that means for travelers is not only are they deprived the opportunity to conduct business or see families or enjoy recreation, but a lot of extra expenses. And the airlines have an obligation to pay those expenses until they get a new flight.
Blumenthal says just issuing credits to impacted travelers isn't good enough. 10,000 flights were canceled as a result of the CrowdStrike debacle. And how about a 4-day school week? That's what they're trying in one Minnesota town.
If it sounds like Superintendent Danita Stepan is making a sales pitch, she is. She's trying to sell people on the district's new 4-day school week.
We had about 79% of the families who filled out the survey that were in support of a 4-day week. We had about 99% of our teachers and staff that were in support.
The idea began last year. Carlton is a smaller district, so they were trying to figure out ways to compete with surrounding schools.
I can't pay my teachers the same as what Cloquet can or Hermantown can. So we've got to do something different in order to retain and recruit our staff.
Reporter John Lauritsen in Carlton, Minnesota. This report from the Summer Games, sponsored by Middlesex Health, the smarter choice for care.
CBS Summer Games. Here's Wendy Gillette.
There definitely seems to be something in the water in Carmel, Indiana. 14 swimmers from the city competed in the swimming Olympic trials, and 3 made the team.
I think it's incredible.
Mayor Sue Finka marvels at those numbers in a city of only 106,000.
We have had a strong swimming program for many years. We've got great facilities.
They include the Carmel Swim Academy and a powerhouse high school program. 38 state championships on the girls' side and 10 in a row for the boys.
We've had strong coaches for 30 or 40 years here.
Watch for Carmel's Alex Shackle in the women's 200-meter fly and 800-meter relay. Brother Aaron Shackle in the 400 free and Drew Kibler in the 800 free relay. Their races will be broadcast on a big screen TV in the city center.
We'll have the whole community behind everybody.
The city even changed its signs to say, "Welcome to Swim City, USA." I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money toward lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Wall Street, the Dow was up 654 points today. The NASDAQ gained 176, and the S&P was up 59. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This summer, take a trip down memory lane with me and hear from the legends of baseball. I'm Brett Boone from the Brett Boone Podcast. Every week I have a conversation with one of baseball's greats to talk about the glory days and reflect on today's game. Randy Johnson, Pete Rose, Deion Sanders, Jay Buhner, Albert Bell, and Goose Gossage, they've all shared their wisdom with stories of their playing days. To hear who's next, follow and listen to the Brett Boone Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
I heard something incredibly crazy with regards to the likelihood of Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, becoming the vice presidential candidate for Kamala Harris. I thought that was interesting. I'll talk about that a little bit, but apparently the Pennsylvania Teachers Union is accused of laundering $1.5 million in union dues to bankroll his campaign in 2022. And, you know, we talk about slush funds all the time with the teachers union, with unions in general. But another thing that's actually kind of interesting is that people in Pennsylvania are calling him Genocide Josh because, of course, he's Jewish and he defends Israel. But there's a campaign of these radicals who are telling Kamala Harris, if you want our vote, you better not make Josh Shapiro your vice presidential candidate. Damn. Talk about holding somebody hostage. Jesus. These people are insane. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Crazy.
Seriously. Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, we're looking pretty good overall. On the southbound side of I-91, just delays 33 down to 32 A and B. You'll see another bump down in Meriden as you approach 19 to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. If you are traveling in the northbound side of I-91, overall, that looks pretty good. Seeing a good ride as you move from Cromwell up in through downtown, up into the Windsor exits. If you are traveling right now on the eastbound side of I-4, a little slow traffic, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue, westbound 84 tight, Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. No problems. 2 eastbound, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, you've got slow traffic, 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound's a little tight by 18. 84 westbound, some slow traffic, 23 into the Mixmaster. Eastbound 84 in Newtown, look for delays from 9 up to exit 11. And if you are traveling on the northbound side of the Parkway, some slow traffic moving up on exit 59. Southbound Parkway slowing by 60 in Hamden. 95 south in New Haven slows 46 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, we're looking at overall nice weather with partly sunny skies and low humidity. We'll head up to a high temperature of 86 and clear and comfortable tonight with a low temperature down to 59, mostly sunny skies and turning out very warm tomorrow. High up to 89, clear skies and comfortable once again tomorrow night. Low down to 60. Then as we head into Sunday, it turns out very warm with sunshine mixing with some clouds, but still low humidity out there on Sunday with a high of 89. Monday looks to be breezy and not as warm with times of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower or two around as well with a high Monday of 82. Right now it's 83 in Windsor Lock, 79 in Unionville, and 82 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week, we're going to talk about, do you have the right advisor? Do you need an advisor? What should you expect from your advisor? And maybe you need to fire them. Really important. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, but here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the...
minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
Okay.
800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax.
And 10 you coming right after the drop. Okay.
Online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
The grievance drop.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
The airing of grievances on News Talk 1080 WTIC on this Friday, July 26th. I'm not going to lie. This month is kind of moved a little slow. Usually everybody says, it's like, oh, it's moving so fast. This month moved pretty slow. So we're taking your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. Hello, Jeff. You're on the Reese on the Radio.
Hey, Reese. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, sir.
So I was just sort of looking you up a little bit online. Were you? Is this correct? You were a writer for Mad TV?
No. Somebody said that, and it was a total mix-up. Let me put it to you this way. So I was given a gig to write for Mad and for SNL. I was writing because I had friends who were people who were in there. I don't usually name drop. So right at the time I was writing skits for both of those names. Of course, as luck would have it, the writer's strike happened.
Oh.
So I got caught right in, because a lot of people, so funny that you mentioned that. Somebody wrote something to me, a personal message to me, and I guess in saying that they were saying that it's not that they didn't like me, they just didn't like the fact that I laughed at my own jokes. And I just went, well, first of all, I laugh at things that are funny. I don't know anything about, if I say something funny, I'm going to laugh at it. So I don't laugh at my own jokes. Like, I'm not trying to force the laughter. If it's funny, I know it's funny. I don't need anybody to qualify it. It's funny. But that's how I started my career as a comedian when I first got to Manhattan. Other than dancing, I wanted to be a comedian when I was a kid. So yeah, I was a comedy writer back in the day, and I got to know a lot of comedians from Saturday Night Live, Chappelle Show, and stuff like that back in the early '90s before those guys got big.
But you didn't actually write for Mad TV.
No, it wasn't. No, in my capacity, I was hired. I got a check for it, but nothing I wrote ever aired. I wrote for Heavy. I wrote for plenty of places.
Yeah, because it said that on some website, and I was like,
yeah,
I think I would have known this, or he would have mentioned it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't talk about it, because nothing I wrote ever aired. So it's like it's not really a part of my resume. But yeah, I mean those things are true. I mean, I was like my tenure with the Stern show over at Sirius. That was, it was what's it, guys, King of All Blacks, but people attributed like I wrote for Stern. I'm like, no, one of the members of that program I wrote for, and I was a producer for.
Yep. Yeah, because I used to love that show, Mad TV, and I think I would have known,
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, but yeah, I knew a lot of people who were in that, because weirdly enough, I also used to work at Caroline's on Broadway. And if you're familiar with that in Manhattan, Caroline's on Broadway, everyone walked through that stage, and I got to work as the owner of the manager of Caroline's on Broadway is also good friends with Joy Behar, and I had to deal with that on a regular basis. But Caroline was who I dealt with often. When I worked there, I would always hang out with her and with Lewis, her manager. And so I got to know everybody from Mike Birbiglia, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, everybody in the business today, even some of the names you know.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious. Reading it, I was like, I don't know if that's really true.
No, but I'd be happy to clear it up. Thank you for asking.
All right, Reese. Take it easy.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. Hello, Joe. You want me to Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reverend Reese.
What's going on, sir?
You can be around next week, or is this it for now?
No, I'm going to be back. I'll be back on Monday.
Oh, beautiful. You should be permanent. Maybe that's how it's going to evolve. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Anyway, Barack and his wife, Michelle, have officially endorsed the VP.
Yes.
So that means Michelle won't be running, as you predicted.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means that her polls will be closely monitored till the convention.
That's right.
And the VP, like I said, could be Barack if her numbers are, mediocre or worse. So
that's you know what? You said that before, but I think what really put a damper on that was this sort of half-baked, half-hearted endorsement over the phone that was released, I think, and I'm almost certain of this, that someone told me that this was released at about 4 a.m. because they wanted everyone to wake up to it. Because I think even Morning Joe had it before, and they were on really early. So I think this was done in the dark, in the sort of the early morning hours, so that they can get it first thing on Morning Joe, and then it would spread like wildfire. NBC News had the video, but for some odd reason, the video that they posted was posted by someone who then took it down. So if you go to NBC News's page of their YouTube page, the person who owns that account deleted the video, which I thought was also odd, like why they would do that. So I think, like I said, you might be right on the fact that they endorsed them, but they did it the way that they did it on the phone, that this gives them an out because they're not doing it sort of a full-throated endorsement. You know what I mean? It's like they can back out of this because they're like, I was just on the phone. So it wasn't like they wholeheartedly committed to the campaign by showing up at a campaign event. That to me would be a wholehearted, full-throated, 10 toes down endorsement if you show up there.
Yeah, and another option, if they have to get rid of Vice President Harris because of poor polls by the convention, I think the plan is to run the 25th on Joe Biden or get him to resign so Kamala can be the first woman president ever for about 4 months. And the ticket would be...
That's what I said. I said, look, if it matters to people that Kamala Harris show a form of leadership, Biden steps down, let her be the interim president for the time up into, through the convention. She's showing leadership. She's making huge decisions instead of this sort of, this half-baked, co-presidency, which people are about to call it. That's going to be the new term, by the way. They're going to be calling it the co-presidency of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because everything that you notice they've already started it. Netanyahu met with Biden, then he met with Kamala. Now he's going to meet he just met with Donald Trump. So everything.
Yeah, guess what he offered Trump at the meeting yesterday? My sources tell me.
What's that?
Trump's protection has been so lackluster.
Okay.
Like you said, it's a Serpico syndrome.
Yeah.
They don't actually plan an assassination, but they deliberately put in the prevent defense, like they do at the end of football games.
Yeah,
they
sure.
give up lots of yards.
Yep.
They put in the prevent
Secret
defense,
Service. Mm-hmm.
Secret Service, because they know the people out there that are capable of doing it are going to try,
Putting
and
their
if they're
guard
not
down.
really putting out 100% effort. So what Netanyahu offered Trump, I know this for a fact. Now, whether Trump's going to accept it, who knows? He said the Mossad could do an excellent job.
I knew you were going to say it.
Mossad.
I knew you would say it. And you know what?
So
I'm not going to lie. White Mike will probably be the first person to mention it. He's probably right. He's probably right to say that, look, they would probably protect them better. But that would be, remember, what immediately would follow that is that the morning papers and the news media would then turn around and put this Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu sort of, quid pro quo sort of behavior. Donald Trump's got to be, he's got to be really, really concerned about how that plays out publicly. And again,
Trump right now is restricted. He can't have outdoor rallies right now. The Secret Service and the FBI director has told him it's unsafe for you to be outside.
It's untenable.
You have to be indoors now.
It's exactly right.
He's
It's untenable.
restricted to 8 or 10 or 12,000 people instead of 80 to 150,000, and that's not right. But
I don't think. Remember,
holding them back.
What Donald Trump is doing there, people believe that that's the optics game is what Donald Trump is playing. I think what they'll do is, and if they're smart, is look, if they got to do indoor venues, they'll do them in the places where they can continue to do them. He's going to sell out. People are going to be outside. Every time he does these rallies in indoor places, people are outside watching. All you do is just put them on the outside, and you put out TVs on the screen, or big screens where you can watch the rally outside. People are still going to show up. They do. I mean, they show up. They show up and they show out for Donald Trump. Let me go to another one, Joe. Thank you so much. Let's get to George in St. Louis, calling us late in the game. What's going on, George?
Hi, Reese. I have a grievance.
Go for it.
I don't like the battery. I think people don't know this. It takes 4 units of charge to get 3 units output.
What battery are you talking about, though?
All of them.
Oh, you mean even my Duracell right here? Even my good old Duracell?
Especially renewable energy, where everything is charged to the battery.
I don't use them anymore.
There's a temperature range. Below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, batteries don't work. And higher than 90 degrees, batteries don't work.
Answer a weird question for me, George. This is going to be a hip hop related battery question, because you would know this. So back in the days, I used to have the big giant boombox, and of course they all went on either C, primarily D batteries. If you didn't buy a Duracell, like maybe you bought one of those, what were those other cheap ones? The white and silver batteries, George. You got to know these ones. They're white and silver. They're not Energizer, but they're another one. Evereadys. Was it Eveready? George?
Yeah. Well, there's different brands.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you'd use the Duracell. I'll be honest with you. These, it doesn't matter how many you got, 10 or 8 or any of those things. You would put them on. And again, either just listening to the radio or playing on your tape deck, those batteries wouldn't last you 1 week. Is it because a simple tape player used that much energy from a battery, or the batteries are just weak?
Well, yeah, it's output.
Okay.
If you require a lot of output,
right,
the batteries are going to die faster, obviously. But here's something Democrats are ignorant about.
Okay.
They've built an energy grid that basically works 8 months out of the year. 8 months out of the year, and the 4 months of severe cold and severe heat, the batteries are shot. It's a stupid,
Yeah, but is it
idea.
like, are we talking about a conventional battery? When you say battery, and for those of us who don't know what you mean,
any battery,
just
they're
anything.
They're all susceptible to the same temperature restriction.
Mm-hmm.
And let me repeat that: below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, batteries fail.
When you would need the most power anyway, right? The extreme cold and the extreme heat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, Democrats are ignorant about renewable energy and about the operation of a battery.
Somebody is going to say about George, they say George, it was like, George is always talking about batteries and green energy. But you know what? I'll put it to you this way. When the day comes when everybody else is told that they have to remove their air conditioner or they got to get rid of their gas stoves, when they start going in on us Gestapo style, they're going to remember you, my friend. I'm telling you, they're going to remember you. I don't take you for granted, George. I'm telling you that right now. I don't take you for granted. I love you, bro. Let me get to my last one. We got Dave is in Brantford. Hello, Dave. You're on with Reese on the Radio.
Yeah, how you doing, Reese? George just made it harder. One of the points George never really gets across is that it's impossible to store electromagnetic energy.
That's right.
In a satisfactory way. It just gets out. If you want to store heat, you store firewood or oil. You don't store a box of heat. It goes away. And electricity is the same way. You can't store a box of electricity.
Right.
You store a way to make it. And that's generally George's point.
Yeah.
I would like to say for you are a very satisfactory, what I call a regular order conservative. You're not one of those squishy rhinos. You're not one of those flame-throwing crazies. You're right over the target. I just love it. And yet you make it interesting. You're not a PhD. And here's my grievance.
Yes.
We've got Senator Murphy, who I saw in the news today promoting, I think it was a $3 billion federal program for summer school, for the kids in the summer. So they would have a place to go for their mental health and to keep them occupied.
Yeah.
Every single time Super Dick Blumenthal or Murphy comes up with an idea and makes the news, it's for spending more money. Where are the senators remember William Proxmire of the Golden Fleece Award with the $600 toilet seats and the bridge to nowhere in Alaska?
Yep.
Nobody is fighting individual spending bills. They all come up with a way to spend more money. We're $2 trillion in debt. That is the existential threat to America, not climate change.
But what do they think? This crazy part about it is that Dick Blumenthal and Chris Murphy, they believe that their job is to do nothing but spend money. That the things, every time I turn around, I hear Chris Murphy talking about how are we going to spend more money on things that nobody asked for. It's the usual nonsense. Let's get to the
That's in a one-party state, awful.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, sir. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 47 Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound a little tight, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again a little slow traffic 19 down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor, 291 through 84 no issues, 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound's a little tight, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown, 84 eastbound slowing in Waterbury by 18, 84 eastbound in Newtown, you've got delays from 9 up to exit 11. Southbound on the Parkway, some slow traffic approaching 60 in Hamden. Northbound Parkway slowing by exit 59 up into the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 southbound New Haven tight from 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
I'm Jan, Deb's sister. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
Okay, but I said it first.
It's more than food. It's my Big Y Rewards.
WTIC weather.
Lower humidity has returned to the area, and this trend will continue right through the weekend. Sunshine, patchy cloud cover the rest of this afternoon, somewhat breezy, definitely less humid than recent days, high 86. Clear, cooler, and more comfortable tonight with a low of 59. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, beautiful start to the weekend, very warm tomorrow afternoon, but with low humidity, high 89. Clear, comfortable weather tomorrow night, low 60, once again 50s at outlying areas. For Sunday, sunshine mixing with some afternoon clouds. Still very warm, but still not too humid. Sunday's high temperature, 89. For Sunday night, partly cloudy with the low of 66 degrees. Monday, clouds and occasional sun. Breezy and not as warm. There could be a shower with a high temperature of 81. Maybe a shower or thunderstorm for the area on Tuesday. Mostly cloudy and more humid again. Tuesday's high 83. We expect similar weather across the area on Wednesday. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Recall of certain Boar's Head deli meats has prompted temporary closures of 2 supermarket deli departments. The delis at Big Y and Stop and Shop temporarily closed today so workers can get the meats in question out and clean the areas, all due to a listeria outbreak as a result of Boar's Head liverwurst and some ham products. Some 200,000 pounds of meat's been pulled. They have been nearly 3 dozen cases of listeria reported, with 2 deaths since May. Man's under arrest in New Haven for allegedly beating his son. This happened Thursday outside a grocery store on Greenwich Avenue. 12-year-old sustained leg and head injuries, swelling of the arms. 42-year-old Kareem Smalls was in court today. He's charged with assault and risk of injury. Former President Trump has welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to his Florida estate. Their first face-to-face meeting in nearly 4 years. The 2 men seeking to mend a political alliance that had been broken down, that is, when Netanyahu congratulated President Biden on his 2020 victory. In the meantime, Vice President Harris picked up the endorsements of both former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. Harris fielding the call from the 2 earlier today. Investigation continues into a serious crash today in Wethersfield. A motorcycle was involved in that crash earlier this morning that had Ridge Road and Folly Brook Boulevard shut down for a time. And the games of the 33rd Olympiad are officially underway in Paris. The opening ceremony, though, dampened somewhat by rain and arsonists who attacked the country's high-speed rail network, paralyzing train travel to Paris. Checking Wall Street, the Dow finished up 654 points today. The Nasdaq gained 176, and the S&P was up 59. Yanks and Red Sox here on TIC tonight, right after the 6 o'clock news with the pregame. Atlanta continues its series with the Mets at Citi Field. Eastern League, this is Whalers Alumni Weekend. Several of the former Hartford Whalers in town to celebrate the team, and the Yard Goats will be hosting Harrisburg as part of all that. 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Glenn Zinn, the IS manager at Lux Bond & Green, truly appreciates the service he receives from Tab Computer Systems.
I think responsiveness to any problem that we have, whether that be a broken printer or setting up new computers or a quote for a new computer. I've never really had a problem getting information or getting somebody to help me out.
Tab takes responsiveness very seriously.
I think that's one of the really good things at Tab. The people from the person you call, or I use the customer portal to send a service message, I get responses right away. So there is good coordination with the staff, and everybody's just so professional and nice.
Fast response from professional and nice people. Trust Tab's nearly 4 decades of experience. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or visit tabinc.com.
I would definitely recommend Tab to any other small businesses in Connecticut. The professionalism has been wonderful throughout the years.
Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Getting quality employees in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Actually, one of my favorite beats. Worst chorus known to man.
It don't even matter because Kiss was saying it.
Yeah, it's just a horrible chorus, but it's one of my favorite tracks. Anyway, Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let me start by saying this. I hate Fridays. Hate them. I know a lot of people are excited about them. It's like, thank God it's Friday. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see.
Get the bowl all weekend, baby.
see, there you go, right there. See, me, I'm going to be working this weekend, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have it any other way. I got my Sunday show here on WTIC. Don't forget, download the Odyssey app for that. Okay, if you can't listen in your car, it's live, 1 o'clock. I know it's 1 o'clock because Red Sox have a 6 p.m. game. So check out the Reese on the Radio rundown on Sundays. That is truly my labor of love. And I know a lot of people, last week, people loved my little Incredible Hulk bit at the end of the show. If you haven't listened to it, go back, go to the Odyssey app, go look up the Reese on the Radio rundown, the Sunday show, so you can listen to last week. It's the end of the show, and it's the bit about Joe Biden leaving, to which miraculously he dropped out of the race right after it aired on Sunday. So you could go look at that. Also, about the weekend. This weekend in particular, I'm very excited today. I don't even think I told my wife, but we're going to go see the Deadpool Wolverine movie, which I'm excited about. And yesterday, if you were listening to the show, what did I say? I said, I love the spoilers. Well, guess who knows all of the spoilers? Guess who knows? I do. I know not all of them. I know a lot of the spoilers. I've already read them. I've watched videos on it.
You better not say nothing.
I won't say a word. I will never say a word. Ever. That's not me. See, I want people to tell me the spoilers. I don't tell others the spoilers. I don't do that. That's just mean. Props is like, spoil away, baby. I'm just not. I won't do that. You can tell me the spoilers. I want to know what's happening before I get in there, right? That's like why I won't see horror flicks, because I don't like jump scares, right? If you give me a spoiler to a horror flick, I'll go see it after that. I know where everything's going to happen. I won't get scared at all. But I love spoilers. I just love it. I love when people tell me about movies. So like, this happened, that happened, the whole nine. And I'll go see it. Based upon that review will make me go see the movie. And it was like, well, don't you want to be surprised? I hate surprises. I don't want to be surprised. Think about it this way. You're traveling on 84. And you're in a rush to get home. And it looks good that you're going to get home on time before your favorite whatever. And then traffic comes out of nowhere. Surprise! You're not getting home on time. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
Dinner's going to be cold by the time I get home. Not tonight, though, Reese. Things are looking good. Southbound 91, you got delays from exit 34 down to 33. Looks like we have a problem, a minor accident in the HOV breakdown lane, left side. Little curiosity with that. Then again, slowing down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. Quiet northbound 91, Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. Westbound 84 slowing as you approach the Bulkley Bridge up to 48 Asylum Street. Eastbound 84 is wide open, Farmington to Vernon. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound looking good, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing by 18. 84 eastbound in Newtown. You've got delays from 9 up to exit 10 on the eastbound side of 84. If you're heading toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays from 46 to 44. And southbound Parkway, look for slow traffic approaching 61 down to 60 in Hamden. Northbound Parkway, a little tight by exit 59 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, we are going to be dealing with nice weather for the rest of this afternoon with partly to mostly sunny skies and overall low humidity. We'll have a high of 86 and clear skies and quite comfortable out there tonight. Great weather for sleeping as we head down to a low of 59. Tomorrow turns out mostly sunny and very warm. High temperature up to 89. Then we'll see clear skies and comfortable conditions once again tomorrow night. Low down to 60 degrees. Another very warm day on Sunday with sunshine and some clouds. The high of 89. Then it turns out breezy. Not quite as warm on Monday with a mix of clouds and sun. There can be a stray shower to around as well with a high Monday of 82. Right now it's 82 in Plainville, 80 degrees in South Glastonbury, and 82 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you.
Be right back. Gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Everybody, let's go. Welcome everyone to West High School Spring Fling.
All right, I've gone through all the tracks. Just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. Okay, I went through the practice sessions. I slept good. I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Sports became a bigger part of WTIC in the 1950s. In the early years, the focus was on coverage of the Hartford boxing scene, as well as local football rivalries and annual coverage of the Indy 500. In 1952, we started covering what was then the Insurance City Open, and 72 years later, we are still covering the tournament, which
All right.
the Travelers Championship. In 57,
Ready to
we
go?
started regularly broadcasting the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, that urine sneaks up on you sometimes.
Also in 57, George Ehrlich, who was then considered the best play-by-play announcer in all of New England,
that
joined
sucks.
the sports staff here, and with
There ain't
Floyd
no seats
Richards
at this-
brought
oh,
UConn
God,
basketball
the only
and
seats they
football
have
Mm-hmm.
to
are
listeners.
in the front row.
1973, WTIC became the radio.
Oh yeah, you already know it's gonna be sold out like that.
Oh, it's going to be
until the team left
insane.
Hartford in 1990.
Let me see if I can get her
Sandy
earlier.
Terenzi and the Livian team at Keller Williams is
I'll probably go tomorrow night.
in
May have to go
WTIC
to-
history.
yeah, I may have to go
The
tomorrow
real
night.
estate team offers extensive services, support, and expertise. So if you're looking to buy,
You should have went last night. That's when
I heard. I realized that after it was too
At
late.
California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like
Thursday late show.
Yeah.
movie has a
Totally.
Every
1 minute.
is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats? Well, the joy of early bedtime. And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Yeah, it's it.
New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I have no idea why. He plays them. I just talk over them. It's Reese on the Radio. Props wants to know, so how long until our education system starts teaching Marvel and DC plot lines as history? I hope that's not ever the case. I hope that never happens. Let's wrap this up with a couple of phone calls. Let's go to Ralph in South Carolina. Hey, Ralph, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. I happen to be in Florida right now, Reese.
All right.
I have a couple questions for you and your far left listeners, if you have any. Why is it that the Supreme Court rules in their favor? It's crickets. But if the court rules against them, it's let's replace the court.
You know what
These are the kind of garbage. I'm sorry, these are garbage hypocrites. That's what they are. When things go their way, oh boy, what a great court.
Well,
But
I don't think.
Let's get rid of this court.
Ralph, I don't think it's unfair when I phrase them. And yes, hyperbolic as it may be, but I don't think it's unfair when I phrase them as 5-year-olds with a Molotov cocktail. That's kind of what it is, right? It's as soon as a 5-year-old doesn't get the candy bar that they want from their mom when they're at the grocery store, what do? They start falling onto the ground, screaming and hollering and flailing because they don't get their way. What do you expect from these people who think that everything should go their way? If they wake up in the morning believing that they're the moral majority and the moral authority for everything, and when people just don't agree with them, how dare you? Because any opposition to them is just hate speech. And so they lose it. And of course, it's like if we don't get our way, we have to destroy the whole thing. That's what it's about.
But Reese, my point is, why doesn't the average American, is he smart enough, or he or she smart enough to say, that these people are crazy? These people are nuts.
I wish that, look, I said this before, and I'll say it again, and of course someone said it before I did, but, evil persists when good people do nothing, right?
Absolutely.
And that's, and that's the purpose of things like talk radio. That's the reason why people have to be politically active. They have to get involved. You can't stand idly by. We have so many people in our world, and I talk to them all the time, and I meet people just by meeting them. I don't tell anybody that I'm in radio. I just start conversations with them because I kind of want to get their feel on what's going on.
Sure.
And you'll hear these people say stuff like, "Yeah, I don't talk about politics, man. That's my neighbor's really into that, but I don't want to really get into that." And they almost are fearful of even having a conversation, whatever their political beliefs are. They keep them close to the chest, out of either.
Reese,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
America is all about being able to do that, aren't we? Aren't we be able to discuss and maybe disagree, but
it's so volatile now.
Human beings.
It's volatile now because remember, we live in a world now where people, and I don't know if you remember this, but you should. I'm certain you will, Ralph. There was a time, politics, and I want to say it was around 2015, maybe 2016, that we started to hear stories like younger parents would keep their kids from their grandparents if they didn't agree with them politically. Did you remember that was a kind of a phenomenon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which is ludicrous.
Exactly. It was out of mind. So just for political things, like younger parents, millennial parents thought it was so detrimental that their older parents either were conservatives or supported things or ideas that these young people didn't agree with, that they would withhold their grandchildren from seeing them. And some parents were so worried because you love your grandparents. You can't wait to spoil them. In fact, it's a rite of passage as an old person to take care of your grandchildren and spoil them and then send them back to their parents. So many people,
the thing is,
hold on. Many parents, what those grandparents would end up doing is they would either keep it to themselves, hidden, would sort of go into hiding, if you will, and never express or even get involved in politics just so they could live in peace.
Right, but these grandparents are speaking from experience.
Right. Yeah, but
been there, done that, and they know what works and what doesn't work.
I almost did. I'll say this. I'll let you go with this, Ralph. Today I wanted to do the 5 o'clock focus, but because we were doing the airing of grievances, I didn't want to put in too many benchmarks into the show. But you're right. It was something I was thinking about earlier today was I wanted to ask people, what was some of the things that when you were young, you wanted to change that was sort of the norm. You know how every young kid, when you're idealistic growing up, you're 16, 17, even 18, there are things that the older generation is doing that you wish that you could change and get rid of because it's old and antiquated. And then when you got older, you realized that your elders were actually right about those things. And I was going to ask that question
correct.
today. And it's true. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're realizing. I'm 55 now, and I remember vividly the things that I wanted to change that my mom thought was crazy.
Right. And you're 100% correct. And the thing is, at least, teach these kids in school. You have to teach them math. You have to teach them history, not DEI. And you also have to teach them to think for themselves.
Indeed.
Don't question everything and everybody and get answers. When someone makes a comment, you should say to them, well, where's your proof? Show me your proof.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks, Ralph. I appreciate you, man, and enjoy Florida, my friend. Let's go to Craig. He's in the car. Craig, we're not home yet?
All right, so here's my grievance.
Yes, sir.
And I think
Went right over his head.
part of it is I do not like how Republicans allow Democrats to label us as MAGA Republicans.
Right. I
or
agree.
Extreme MAGA Republicans.
No, there's
nothing extreme about MAGA. MAGA is what it's always been. It's the F's, right? It's faith, family, freedom,
correct,
firearms. It's the same thing that we stood for during the Reagan era.
Yep.
America's not more polarized. Democrats have just gone bat, crazy. And the example of that is, look at the Republican platform during the Reagan era versus now, and look at the Democrat platform during Kennedy versus now.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely flipped upside down. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't know if this has something to contribute to why that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have presidents anymore that have served in the military. I think the last Republican we had was H.W. Bush.
Yes.
And I believe I think the last Democrat was John F. Kennedy.
Jimmy Carter did not. You're right. And no, you're 100% right. Yep. You're 100% right.
So go back to the founding of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and I haven't done the research, but I would say for the first 100 years of the country, almost 100% of our presidents had served in the military.
But do you think that may have changed? That may have changed, I think, in some ways when people started talking about the country in more of a sort of a business, needing a business acumen, because more people, it's interesting you say that, like a military background, people were talking about the military industrial complex. So we needed somebody who had been in the military to understand said complex as our commander in chief, because he may have to send people out into foreign wars, and because we were a little more volatile at the time, we were a little bit post-World War, post-Cold War, so we needed that. But then as we became more of a, I want to say capitalist country, that they needed somebody to run America like a business, so then the war or the military service kind of became a misnomer. Like let's not even consider it.
I would agree. I would agree with you, and that is frankly why I am excited about J.D. Vance, because he brings both perspectives to the table.
That's 100% true. Didn't even think of that. Nice. I love the way you winded that up, Chris. I like that. That's a nice little come around. You set me up with the curveball. That was perfect. That was perfect.
As I say to Todd on every Friday, ciao, my friend.
Thank you. Ciao to you. Let's go to Steve in Waterbury. Hello, Steve. Robert Reese on the radio.
Hey, Reese. How we doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. I think I would like to see Obama and Biden peel potatoes if they didn't serve in the military, at least. But as a kid, the only thing I remember wanting to change was my father's radio program, which played music from like the 30s and 40s. Eventually, they started playing melodies of the Beatles and Stones. Same stations now playing the Beatles and the Stones. But as far as you were talking about, like the grandparents being kept away from the grandkids.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up, remember Obama's administration was pushing Pajama Boy and Obamacare and have this talk at Thanksgiving and all that?
Yes, the famous Thanksgiving speech. I want to say it was the Washington Post or the New York Times that were writing articles about how you should go to your Thanksgiving dinner and push Obamacare. Do you remember that? Oh, I'll never. Sure enough, that Thanksgiving, I had a lot of conversations about it.
Hey, great talking to you, Reese.
Thank you, man. A much appreciated phone call, sir. Yeah, people, the whole get up in their faces thing, people forget about that. I'll tell you this. This is an interesting point, talking about a divided country. And I know I've probably told this story before, and it's maybe 2 years old now, but I want to rehash it only for this purpose since we sort of got here. And I didn't get to the James Carville piece, and it's timely, so I'll play it on Monday. But I remember having a conversation with a client, liberal woman, big Obama supporter, and in 2016 was, of course, all in for Hillary Clinton. She's a woman, so of course, I'm with her and that whole bit. And while the boys are moving her out and we're having this conversation, she's talking about the volatility of Donald Trump. And she couldn't understand where he came from. And so this woman, not that it matters that she was white, but I think for this conversation, you need to know this. So she's a white woman, I'm a black man. And for her to find out that I was a Trump supporter or even a conservative was foreign to her. Many people make that usual mistake. You're black, you must be a Democrat. And I think she was stunned that I could articulate politics in a fashion in which I did. Maybe something she didn't experience. That's not to call her ignorant. She just had never had that experience. So as I'm talking to her, I'm trying to explain to her, you don't understand why Donald Trump is in a position that he's in to become president of the United States? And she said, no, she didn't get it. And so I took her back through history. And again, this has always been me. History is our guide. I said, ma'am, do you remember any time anyone debated or pushed back on Barack Obama's policies or his presidency, what they were called? The Tea Party, things like that. She goes, well, I know they were called racist. People were very racist to him. They would shout at him and things that they would say. I'm just like, okay, so even if it weren't warranted, they were called racist. Is that fair? She goes, yeah, well, sure. Sometimes it wasn't warranted for people to call him a racist just because they didn't agree with his policies. But some people were. I was like, sure, of course, some people were. But if you opposed him, you would be called racist no matter what. And many people were silenced, right? They couldn't say a word. They had to keep to themselves. They had to be quiet. All of them had to not do anything. They had to sit in their own little box and allow the president to do whatever he wanted to do. And if they so much as challenged him, they didn't want to be called a racist, so they sat by. And then Donald Trump comes out. And he's a punch you in your face kind of guy. He's from New York. He doesn't care. Say whatever you want about him. He's here to win. And he's not going to play, footsies with the rest of these people telling him about political correctness. People saw that, and they had a voice. So with 8 years of being bullied and told what they couldn't say and what they couldn't do and how they couldn't behave, a guy comes in and says, I got your back and I'll do it for you. You saw a groundswell of support. That's how that works. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. That guy is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, get him home.
All right, Reese, thanks. Have a great weekend. If you're heading westbound 84, you got some slow traffic now. East.
All right, brother.
All right, boss man, and it is always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Again next week.
Next week, again and again and again.
Yeah, man. Holla.
It might parlay, man. It might just parlay.
I don't know. My wife is doing that too. I don't know yet, buddy.
I know. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
84 in Newtown.
All right, that is it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's been a wonderful week, and thank you. I'm sorry you're about to call in. Thank you, Michael A. Always a pleasure. I'm going to try to get to this movie. It looks like every seat is sold out. I'm going to see if I can find some weird midnight showing somewhere if I have to. I will get back to you guys tomorrow. All right, I love you, and